Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Erasmus Expeditions. I'm pretty sure that you notice something different. My name is Chad Knick, and we are going to be playing the second half of my one-shot, now a two-shot, called Mother Knows Best. It's a Harbinger and Mecha Hack collaboration. And I'm very, very happy to have everyone back. So let us begin by talking about your players, talking about the players and the characters they will be playing tonight. Let's start with Jeremy.
Excellent. First of all, welcome Chad to the channel. Thank you so much for hosting it here with us, and I'm very excited to get back into this. For those of you who are here, you already know who I am, so no need for that kind of an introduction. But tonight I will be stepping back into the metal skeleton of AQ6, otherwise known as Styx, and he pilots the mech Sonic Boombox. This has been a lot of fun already. Just the one session that we've already had of this, the mixture of both Harbinger and Mecha Hack, and I'm excited to blow some stuff up. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Cole, please.
Hello, I'm Nicole Sparks. Cole. I am playing Octavia, who is in the mech Onyx Glory. I had to check my sheet because I didn't remember. And I am really excited that we're doing another night of this. And I'm sad Karen's not here tonight.
Yeah, I'm very sad that Karen is not here tonight. But we shall be playing in her spirit, and hopefully you get better, Karen. I cannot wait to play with you again. Thank you.
Hopefully she'll show up in
the
chat, whichever direction the chat is. Hopefully she shows up.
Hopefully you show up in the chat if you're feeling well enough to do so. I appreciate it. Lloyd, please.
That's me. I'm Lloyd. I am playing Razvan Bellic, who is a old-ass, miserable mercenary who wants one big final job so he can retire, and who pilots the mech Gorgon 6, which is a brick given legs. Big guns, no messing.
And finally, Austin, please.
Hello, I'm Austin. I will be playing Zeke Diston, who pilots Scrap Heap, and I'm just excited to get into it. I'm gonna say I'm at feeling about 80% today, a little under the weather, so don't need to say much more. So, but I'm here and excited.
Awesome, guys. Thank you all for coming and playing today. And now let us jump right in. So where we left off, I believe it was Octavia that got out of her mech and talked to one of the specters on the ship. Immediately afterwards, the specter was silenced by the mother herself, and two of these long tendrils with astral eyes came into the cargo hold with you, and then immediately upon seeing you and scanning your forms went backwards into the labyrinth itself. So that is where we pick up on, and you guys are currently on the deck of the cargo hold.
So I remember the mother saying something to us, but I don't remember what.
Let me check my notes.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You are fine. Let me check what I have here. Most likely, you know what? I don't remember what I said. And that is okay. We can just go from there and we'll keep going. because I don't remember either. It looks like I had something, and I don't have it in my notes. So yeah.
That we'd kicked us off by really making you feel uncomfortable, Chad. All
Thanks.
that hard work and prep, that we'd kick it right off with reminding you.
It's fine. It's cool. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I can recall Octavia getting out of the mech, and there was the speaking, and then the very frightening situation. I have no idea what Mother said, so maybe it was staticky over our.
It was probably static
radios.
over your radios, and you probably couldn't hear it. We'll go with that.
It was
Outside of
threatening
that,
static, though.
Was threatening static. Yes. So outside of that, the quiet of the labyrinth awaits you. It's kind of deathly silent after those tentacles went backwards into the next room, and you are free to do what you would like.
Octavia, get back in the mech.
I am so getting back in the mech. What are the exits from this room? Where are the exits?
So currently there are, on this hole, there are 3 doors. One straight ahead of you, one to the right, one to the left.
This was like a long type.
Yeah, so it's a
ship,
long
right?
ship, right? It's a long ship. So there's one ahead, but then there's 2 rooms off to the left and right. And then you know that if you go down the center one, it would just go down the full, supposedly full length of the corridor.
Right. And we didn't have any kind of specific direction as to the kind of tech or where it was going to be whenever we got here.
No,
right?
No, because all of that is kind of lost in the myth, right? People
sure.
give rumors that, of, oh yeah, well, we went, like nobody's come back. So you don't really know. The idea of the labyrinth is that there are stories, there are things that people may have heard, but no one has definitive answers.
Do either of the 3 doors have any kind of indication or marking that there's been traffic that's gone that way before?
Roll me a, let me see. Roll me a systems check to see if you can scan the room for any sign of path.
Okay, that is an 11 out of 15, so that's a pass.
Sweet. So you do see that the Leviathan, as much as it is rumored to have never, no one's ever come back before, you can clearly see that there have been numerous treks to try and go in it. So there are mech scratches and the signs of travel on pretty much every doorway. What you will notice is each doorway is denoted by some specific astral color. So one to your left has a red symbol. One to the front has a yellow, and then one to the right is green.
We probably want yellow, huh? Utilities, etc.
I definitely think that would be better. I don't want to see what's down that way. And his mech kind of like gestures towards the red marked door. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Is this kind of ship that we're in? It's a ship, right? It's a derelict ship.
It's a derelict ship, yeah.
Is it a kind of ship, like a class of ship that still exists, or is it forgotten?
I would say that this is a class of ship by the way that the cargo bay, like the way that the cargo hold is. You would note it to be a freighter of some kind, but as far as details to the type of freighter that it would be, you're not entirely certain as of now.
Sure. Erasmus will say Yellow Astra is utility, etc.? Question mark. And he's not a man, so he doesn't really know. But that's his guess. And his thinking is that that's where like power, engineering, like those kind of things will be.
So, boss says yellow door, we go through the yellow door. He's going to kind of like stride over to the yellow door and see if he can't figure out how to open it.
Yeah. So you know that the yellow door, you can kind of see that it is almost ajar. It isn't opening the way it should. So like when you step forward, typically these are airlock doors. They should just immediately open and close. But you go to step forward to that door, and the door does go where it like doesn't want to open completely. Can you please give me a can you please give me a systems check to see if you can get the door, either a systems or a power, however you choose to manhandle this door. Can you give me one of those to see if you can open this door?
Sure thing. So I think normally Styx would probably try to hack into a panel, slice the mechanics behind this door and try to force it open.
You clearly know that because of Octavia having spoken with a Spectre previously, that you can access, like, you can splice into the doors, because that's kind of what she did originally with contacting with the Spectre.
Right. But I think whenever he's in Sonic Boombox, I don't think he's as apt with his arc tool. For one, it's not sized for
Sonic
it's not
Boombox. Sized. There's not an arc tool adjacent mechanic for Mecha Hack.
Yeah, and I don't have the finesse since I'm not actually using my hands. So I think Sonic Boombox is going to use power. So he's just going to kind of like go up and shove his kind of
try to jar it apart. Go ahead.
His somewhat mechanical, somewhat like, it wouldn't be organic, but basically like android flesh, kind of like fingers kind of in these two halves of the door, and is just going to try to muscle them apart.
Excellent.
Oh, I rolled a 20.
Oh no, you rolled a 20. Oh no. No. I don't remember how crits work or crit fails work in Mecha Hack. I do know, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to roll your reactor die for that kind of a failure.
Maybe.
But
I can do that.
Let me take a look. Let me take a look at the critical failures on Mecha Hack. I will say this: you go to do it, and maybe one of your arms, you begin to hear that where like the pistons that control your arm start to grind at the pressure that you feel this yellow Astra putting on the door. So like you went to open it, and typically the door would open just fine to normal pressure, but it's like opening up an airlock that has had a number of pressure against it.
So do you want me to roll my reactor die?
Yes, please. Just to see if it's an exerted pressure. And then I'm going to look up what critical fails are on Mecha Hack real quick.
There isn't anything specific for something like this if it's not in combat. So
okay. So
I think
nothing
reactors.
like that. Okay.
Okay, I got a 3, so I should be good. Close.
Okay, good. So yeah, I would just say that maybe for right now, one of your arms is you'll have disadvantage on power rolls until you can kind of have a moment to fix that. So the door does not open. It still kind of stays in place after you kind of step back from the door.
Yeah, I think his arm
having... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say his arm kind of goes down loose, kind of by his side, and he kind of, I can't get it. Somebody else is going to have to come in here and do it.
Seeing that he's having no luck with the yellow door, Onyx Glory's going to try the right-hand door, the green one.
Green door. Okay, sweet.
While Onyx
You
is
can
doing
roll me
that,
a systems or a power.
while Onyx is doing that, I'm going to augment my weapon with yellow Astra, and then I'm going to touch the yellow door and see if anything connects there.
Good idea. Okay. So you augment your weapon with the yellow Astra. What are you doing to try to get the door open? You're just seeing if like...
Yeah, so usually the effect for doing augment weapon with yellow is that you can move something closer or further away from you. So I'm going to try and give it like a slight push.
Give it a shove to see if it jars open. Okay.
Augment the weapon and just like touch it to the door and see, and then I'll I guess this happens at the same time Octavia is doing trying the green door.
And I got a success.
Oh, wonderful. So Octavia, you go up to the green door, and what are you doing as far as you're just trying to hack into the systems, or are you doing, was that power or systems that you rolled?
They're both the same for me, so I didn't really choose one.
Okay. How are you trying to get the door open, I guess?
I think probably hacking in somehow.
Hacking in?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, you try to hack into the door. This time the door on this end gives way just fine. You hack in to, I'm looking for my notes. Okay. Yeah, you hack into this door, and you notice that can you give me a systems check just to get a glance of the room, and then I'll kind of give you a deeper explanation on that.
That's a fail.
Okay, so you can't quite see. The light in this room has definitely dimmed. It is dark in here. What you can see, though, is that there is some sort of a globe of green Astra in the far back corner of this room. But you have the door open, and there doesn't seem to be anything coming out of it at the moment. So that is a positive. Now, as far as the yellow door, you rolled and you got a success as well, Lloyd?
So I just augmented a weapon.
Oh, you augmented your weapon and you were going to try to push it open?
Touch the door with the yellow Astra and see if that does anything.
Yeah, okay. So you touch this door with the yellow Astra. And you know what? I will say that it nudges it just so that the cracks, like it cracks it open. So you have now damaged this door to the point where it will not slide back and forth anymore, but it has easily careened from side to side. So you have enough room where your mechs could go through, but that door will never go closed again. It's odd because when you walk into this room, it's like your yellow Astra hit a wave of yellow Astra and they collided together. So when you begin to look toward this room, yellow Astra seems to haze the entire vicinity of this open chamber.
No hostiles here.
So how far away is that green glow? Is that close?
So this door, let's see. It would be in the far back corner of the room. So you would have to step into the room to get closer to a closer bandwidth to see it.
Okay. So which bandwidth is it in right now then?
So it's in far from where you are. So it's a long space.
Yeah.
Of this room.
Okay, I am going to kick on the jump jets and go right there to it.
Okay. So you jump into the room. Mm-hmm. So as you get into this room, you notice that this room starts looking. You turn the lights on your mech, and you start seeing that this room was once a laboratory. It was used for Harbinger studies, and a number of what looks like derelict mech parts are just scattered all about the floor and on the tables and everything. There are frames that are holding up completely dormant mech shells. So at the far back of this room, as you're getting closer, you begin to see what looks to be like the outline of some form of a weapon that is encased in this green Astra.
No hostiles in here, but there's some bits of other mechs and possibly unused mechs. I don't know.
At the mention of other mechs, you see Scrap Heap like poking through his head through the door. What do we got in here? You got some good bits and pieces?
Get salvaging.
It sticks his head like right above where Scrap Heap is.
Scooby-Doo style.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's
Come on in, boys. Water's fine.
New tech? We got new tech? You go left, I'll go right.
Yeah, he's immediately like just scanning everything he can, trying to find if there's anything, like looking for any glow of Astra, especially because that usually means worth good money or worth putting on your mech.
Yeah. So you guys are, the three of you are going to go into the green door. And then for Razvan, are you going through the yellow, or are you going to stay outside and wait?
I'll stay in the middle and wait for them before I wander off on my own.
You got it.
So I guess like he kicks the mech into sleep mode and like puts his feet up and like lights a cigarette and waits for them to do their salvaging.
That's perfect. So currently you are now all in this space, and you realize that this space is fairly long, but with three mechs in here, it's starting to get a little cramped. You start moving around and trying to not step on the mech pieces, because it's literally just a graveyard of mech parts in here. And you guys can roll me some systems if you would like to see what is currently around you.
I'd also like to try to figure out, like, is there an obvious like, did these mechs all get taken down the same way? Do they have their pilots still in them?
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that would require either a system or would presence work for this? I think maybe. Or is presence more like a charisma?
Yeah, it's probably systems, I'd say.
It's probably systems. Okay, yeah. So I'd say systems for this.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'll do that one first before actually scanning for useful goodies, because I kind of realize, like, wait a minute, why are there so many? And like, are there bodies? Ooh, success.
So you look around, and they all seem to be of similar make and model. Two different types. What they call a Gladius model and a Aegis model. All different shells and types and different types of chassis for different types, but the models are the same. And each one, some of them look like they have been used and are completely destroyed. Others look like they have taken some damage but could easily be repaired. And then there are still others that are in relatively good condition and just never have been used.
All right, I'm making a beeline to those ones.
Okay.
I'm skipping
the ones that
over
are
all
still
the-
hanging. The ones that are still hanging on the frames. Those would be probably the ones that would be the most usable.
Yeah, so I'll just start stripping that for any parts that look like they're valuable or could maybe, increase my own armor plating or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So when Onyx Glory entered the room, she flipped on the jump jet, so she would be right at the green
so you're
stuff.
at the green, yeah. So you're at the green globe, and you look, and inside of this, encased in this, is a large astral cannon that has been kept in this shell, preserved, but you can see that it's like attached to a bunch of other wires, and it is definitely being worked on, or it had been worked on.
Does it look like I can, like, is it obvious how to disconnect it?
Yeah, I think that's something you could roll a systems check for, to see if you can figure it out, and then we'll go from there.
Nope, I can't figure it out.
Okay,
but I think she's gonna try to just yank it out, because
that's
patience,
perfectly fine.
not so much her thing.
So yeah, if you rolled your systems and it was a failure, you're rolling power to try to pull them out.
Yeah, hang on, let me roll that. Now see, that I succeeded on. I got
Okay.
a 2 on that.
So you pull one of the first cords, and immediately a hiss and a gush of green astra jets from the inside of this globe. But at that, okay, 4. You begin to hear a rumbling around you in this room.
Why are you organics always touching stuff that you shouldn't be touching? What is this? What's going on?
What's that noise? Report.
Yeah, immediately the 4 of these mech shells animate. And they look to you, Octavia, and immediately begin to go into protect mode. Protect.
Yeah, we've got contact.
Yep. Yep. And they are the gladius forms. So I will get those, and then we will start into it.
Yep. You want us to
please roll initiative. Yep, please roll initiative. I'm just gonna grab what I need. There we go.
Initiative is just mobility, right?
Initiative is just mobility test, and then I do a mobility test for them.
Yeah, I think it's mobility or system.
You don't even.
Yeah,
you
mobility for you
test,
guys.
Chad.
Yep. So. Yeah, you get mobility, and as long as you guys all get successes, you're going to go before them.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Sweet. Everybody goes before them, so they are awake, and you can clearly see they are analyzing how many people are in the room. But you now have the opportunity to start. So whoever would like to take the first shot, please feel free.
They're all aiming at me.
Yeah, I imagine that I'm like right up on one of these because they were the ones that were like in the frames, right?
Yep, they were one of the ones that were in the frame. So one literally drops down right in front of you as maybe you're touching on it.
Right. I was like reaching up for the core, trying to figure out like, okay, is there a way I can like deactivate this and pull it out? So now that this thing is active, I just want to try to, oh boy, power is not a strong suit for me. Okay, can I use No, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys think for a second. If anybody else has something else they want to do, I need a second.
Yeah.
Apparently,
So
Sure.
you go.
Oh.
Sorry.
You go ahead, Lloyd.
No, it makes more sense that it's you for sure.
Okay, so she's immediately going to shoot her palm beam at something close, whichever one is closer. And it's a quick palm beam, which means I can hit with it twice. I think that's a mobility. Yeah. So first one hits for, nope, that's not that. 6 points of damage. Second one hits for 3 points of damage. And then I'm going to throw up my static cloud, which is another mobility test. And I fail it. Wow. Okay. I rolled a 20, which is the only way for me to fail a mobility test. Yeah. So yeah, she just is standing there having done 9 points of damage to one that's closer. Yay.
Yeah, you immediately launch these pulsers into one of them, and they take it, but their eyes aim directly at you now. They were already going for you, but you are now their primary target, as they are all kind of going to, their eyes all kind of move to you in synchronous.
So wait, can I still move?
You can still move.
Oh, I want to move away from them then.
Yeah, you can immediately move. You can take a pop shot and then immediately move away. That's
yeah. Fine. I don't. Are they between me? They're between me and the door, right? Because I went to the furthest corner.
They are between
I'm a dork.
You and right now their job is to protect the item. So they're probably focusing less on the door and more on the item. They're gonna kind of circle around you to kind of keep you there and protect the item that is.
Okay. I am going to move away from the item then.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so you move away from the cannon, and they don't have an opportunity to move yet, but they will be moving. Who is next?
Okay, I have a question about.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to allow an odd use? I have a super reactor, which means so that my die reactor's up one. Okay. Could I like hotwire my reactor, like plug in to just immediately drop a reactor type to overload, try to fry this guy's reactor?
Oh, you want to drop an EMP basically?
Basically try to so at the expense of some of my capability, my reactor's capability, like drop a die type. Can I drop a die type for something like that? I don't know.
Yes. However, that comes at a risk for you. Anytime.
For sure.
Yeah. Anytime you drop a die on your reactor core, because it's
roll on the Astra
core, you have to roll on the Astra table as well.
Exactly. So, that's kind of what
I was hoping. Reward. Okay. There you go.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That seems perfect. Like if I can fry this guy's core, it'll be worth it. So
yeah. And then here's what I'll do. I would like you, when you roll it, if you succeed, roll a D4. That will be how many you manage to either stun or completely take out, depending on how much damage this does too.
Okay. So is that as a system check, right?
Yes.
Okay. That is a. Oh no.
Oh no. Sad panda. What happened?
There was a 10% chance I would fail.
And you failed.
And I.
Oh no.
And I failed.
Oh no.
We're doing great, everybody.
Yeah, we're doing great, guys. It's great. Okay, so you do this. You attempt to do this. And as you begin to downgrade your reactor, something about the just odd Astra sensations inside this labyrinth, you can't do it. It doesn't work the way you want to. in that moment.
It's as if like a water balloon is exploding underwater.
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
just
exactly.
it just dissipates.
It just
into the
dissipates
astral.
in. Yep. Now roll on the Astra table to see what happens to you.
All right, so I currently have no astrofade.
You have no astrofade.
So
roll on that first Astra table and then just see what.
Do you know what page that's on?
Yeah, I can find that for you real quick.
I have the thing up.
It's right down the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the magic Astra tables. Yep. Astrofade.
I'm missing it. What die do I need to roll?
D6.
If you have it. Okay, yeah. If you got it in front of you, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have you roll on the tier 1 list because you're downgrading one.
That's a 6.
Ooh, okay. So you take one. Roll me a 1d8, please.
That's a 4.
Okay, so you're just gonna take 4 of 4 damage to your back as the astral core pretty much goes off the way that you think that pulse is going to work, and it ends up damaging the back of your mech a little bit.
Does armor protect against that or not?
Armor does. You can take it off your armor if you want instead of. You can take it off your armor instead of your actual hit points.
Okay, I will do that. Yeah, so a little like this, like the reactor kind of bursts on his back, and that like I said, that Astra kind of dissipates, but it like kind of crumples a bit, and you see these like plates of his armor, these like kind of scrap metal pieces that are welded on, just sort of like crumple and fall off.
Okay.
Well, that didn't work.
So, how long has it been since we encountered Mother? Has it been more than a minute?
I would say more than a minute now. Yeah, since
Okay.
you've encountered them. Yeah, Mother's tentacles have not shown up for a minute. Yeah.
Okay. So by this time, the Astra infused kind of magenta light that is coming from Sonic Boombox's Great Axe has dissipated and kind of left. So Styx is going to re-up that, kind of repower it with more Astra. That brings my Astra fade up to 2. So the magenta Astra starts to kind of run throughout his Great Axe again, which we see being pulled out and kind of brought across in the style of a guitar. It's kind of slung across with the axe kind of almost on his hip and the haft kind of out to his side, and he's going to start strumming this kind of dun 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 dun. And as he does so, he is going to use his quake generator as an attack, and I have to test presence, which is a success for 2 close enemies. I don't know how close they were. So I guess
you are all in that. You are all in that close range.
Okay, perfect.
Right now, because you're all in that same room now.
Okay, so if possible, then this is going to do a d6 damage and push 2 close enemies to near distance.
Oh, nice. Okay, very well.
Okay, so they'll take 2 points of damage if there are 2 within close, and then I have to roll my reactor again. Oh, that's a 1. So my reactor is overheating with the amazing bass riff that I just laid down.
Yeah, that's so good, man. Yeah, you do so. You did 2 damage, right? 2 points of damage.
2 damage to 2 different targets.
Okay, sweet. 2 damage to 2 different targets.
Your reactor went down a type, right?
It did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if your reactor went down and you're up above, are you above your astropade now?
I am not. I'm at 2 out of.
But if your reactor core goes
4.
down, you still need to roll on the Astra table.
Cool.
So roll me a d6.
Does the reactor die dropping add Astra fade?
No, it doesn't add Astra fade.
Okay.
You're literally you just have to roll because it's causing, when it goes down, it's like your Astra is flaring. Yeah.
Right. Ooh, that's another 6. So D8.
Okay. You're gonna take 4 points of damage.
Oh, okay. 4 points of damage.
As you,
I hurt
as
myself
you as well, kind of
with this
experience
amazing
this
guitar
like
riff.
rad, your rad guitar riff explodes the speakers in the back. So now I'm gonna roll me.
I gotta go first.
Yep. Oh no. I'm just gonna roll this for me. But you go ahead.
So Razvan is like sitting in the cockpit of his mech with his feet up, and he's like smoking a cigarette, and he's like, "Have you ever seen that episode of Sopranos where Tony's in the car and he's like, I don't want to do your dirty work." He's like listening to some like classic rock, just like and then there's like a bleep, 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 and like all the targets come up in his thing, and then you can hear like boss, and he's like, and he like flicks his cigarette somewhere into the cockpit and like kicks the thing back into gear, and then we'll stomp into the room. He's going to rush to the nearest one and try and hack it with his greatsword. So let's see how that goes. Can I get to one, Chad, if I move in there?
Yeah, if you move in, you clearly see that there's 4 in the room. So the 2 that you're probably going to be able to get to are the ones that are next to Styx and Scrap Heap, right? And then both of them, and then there's 2 that are on the back next to Octavia.
Okay. Well, I can only get to the ones that are close. So I guess Razvan would think that Scrap Heap is less capable of defending himself in a fight. So he'll go over to that one and grab the mech like by the head and try and run it through with the greatsword.
Nice.
And that's a 1. That's a crit.
Oh, okay.
First roll of the game, baby.
Please roll me that sweet crit damage.
Okay.
There's a reason we follow him.
Because he's got good dice. So that is a greatsword, which is it's just damage die in this game. That's right.
But I think you got a +2 to it because it's heavy.
I do. Yep. All right. That's D8. 7. So 9 damage. It's a Lodium greatsword, which is my quality for this. So I gain an armor point if I crit with it.
Oh, snap. Okay, that's awesome. Please describe to me, because this one has already taken some damage. Please describe to me how you dispatch this one.
Yeah, so it's like concerned with Scrap Heap. So literally, Gorgon 6 just like stomps up behind it, and he grabs it by the mech head and just like runs the sword right through its back, through the power generator, and then like twists it, throws the mech to the ground. But as it does, like there's a bunch of parts from it that are like magnetically tied to the sword, and they like attach themselves all over Gorgon 6, so he gains armor out of it. And he'll like look around like, God damn it, guys, one thing.
I think Styx just kind of like points to Onyx. Like,
and I guess Scrap Heap like still has like an arm in one of the other mechs, like he's trying to get like some little thing out of it. It's like, oh.
Oh my god, I love this so much. So I will say this: I rolled a die while you were doing your roll, Lloyd, and at this point, because of all the chaos that is going on in this room, you begin to hear the rumble again of Austin. I think you remember this. The creature that you saw from above when you were on the top of the Up on the top of the ship, you begin to hear that rumble.
We should get out of this room as fast as possible.
Why?
Go. Razana will like stomp on the mech that he's thrown to the ground, stomp on its head and like stomp it out like it's a cigarette, and will like point one mech hand behind him like, get the hell out of here.
Yep. If I will say this, Octavia, if you want to roll me one more power to try to pull that cannon out of the green Astra, you certainly can. Okay.
I pull it out. Yep.
So you pull the second cord that was on it, and that green Astra shield goes down. And you have the opportunity to grab that cannon out. Yep. So you now have that cannon, and I will tell you what the cannon is as soon as you guys get out of this room. You are now leaving the room, and you have still 3 mechs chasing behind you. So you guys, I believe everybody has gone, so now they are going to go. And I'm just going to have them go as 1 unit.
You're muted.
You're muted, Chad.
Oh yeah, because I was looking for what I needed.
Can I get them to attack me somehow?
Yeah,
like
you can.
The stomping in and like the aggression.
Roll me a presence check,
Sure.
and I'll say if your presence is high enough, you can certainly draw aggro to them.
Just barely 13 under 14, so
okay,
almost.
That works though. They begin to try to chase Octavia's mech, and what do you do to draw their attention?
I guess like Gorgon 6 is a lot bigger than Onyx, and so as like Onyx maybe like runs under one of the arms, he'll like step in front like with their slain other mech, and he'll like throw it towards them.
Excellent.
To give them sort of like a come on then, so everybody else can get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So they will be drawn to your aggro, and they'll go ahead and try to attack you. This one, he will. You'll notice that one of the mechs, he brings up a pistol in one hand, and he's going to try and roll. I need you to roll mobility to see if you can avoid this.
Yes, sir. I have a 19 mobility.
Okay.
That's a 9, so I'm good.
Yep. Okay. So you move out of the way as this blaster on his hand, the hand kind of sinks in, and it just becomes the barrel of a gun. And this green Astra shoots out from the beam itself, and then it completely dissipates against the wall, making scorch marks against the wall as it misses you entirely as you kind of slide to the side. The other 3 are also going to attempt to fire, but they all kind of do so, and somehow, even though you are large, there's this dance between the 3 mechs where it's just you've moved in such a way that all of their firing, you're able to dodge and weave backwards through this space.
And I think he's even getting hit. It's just not getting through the thick armor.
Yeah, it's just not getting through the thick armor. It's just bang, 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 bang. Yeah, you might even
like
be
barely dodging, just standing blows there, and it's just like
It's like when stormtroopers, either they don't hit or when they do hit, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, right. It's 100% that. So now you are all back out in the main cargo hold. Where would you guys like to head? The only person who is not is currently going to be Razvan, who is basically being meat shield for you guys.
Are they not giving pursuit out of this room?
They're currently giving pursuit, but because of Razvan's presence, he is taking aggro from them right now.
I think Octavia would try and tap back into the door so that she can shut it once Razvan gets out.
Yep. Please roll me a systems check, please.
That is a success.
Awesome. Okay. So as Razvan, as you're backing up, as you're taking all these shots from behind, you kind of move forward. And then just as these 3 mechs are about to make their way into the cargo hold, the doors slam shut and a bunch of dents go into the doorway as they begin to try and make their way through. But once they do enough damage to the door, they seem to give up and go back to their posts. For now, you are safe.
Razvan has like a bunch of smoking craters in his front armor, and he'll it's like an affectation because he doesn't need to, but he'll like put out the fires on the outside of his mech in the vacuum or whatever, and then we'll like look around at them like with the mech head, and it's clear that there's like a disapproving look.
Octavia doesn't even notice because she's checking out this new toy that she just got.
Okay, so I will
Chad, tell me what I won.
You win. Okay, you win what is called a thunder cannon. Okay, it has to every time you use it, you have to roll a d6 to see if it'll recharge. But either one near or far target will take 1d10 damage on every charge.
One near or far target, you said?
Yeah, you can choose one near or one far, and they take 1d10 damage for every shot.
Is it an attack roll?
It's an attack roll.
Like
Yep, it's
okay.
an attack roll, and then it's an attack, and then if you roll then to recharge the weapon, you have to roll a d6. Any 5 or 6s allow you to recharge the weapon and keep firing. Yeah. Okay. So you guys are now out in this hallway. You still have the red doorway, or you have the open yellow doorway you can proceed through.
Well, it looks like we won't be leaving empty-handed. He kind of like looks over at Onyx.
Yeah, it's quite a find.
Onyx takes like sort of targets the door, the yellow door that is now open.
Yeah.
But doesn't shoot. She just
you can augment. I will say this: you can augment that weapon onto your mech, like as an additional weapon, because it is a mech weapon. Yeah.
Is it supposed to be like a human held weapon?
No, it is a mech weapon.
Okay.
It is a mech weapon. It was designed for one of these mech suits.
Okay.
So you can easily use that.
Awesome. I will add it to my arsenal.
How are those mechs in there equipped, Chad? Did they have good gear, like good quality gear?
They had good quality gear, yeah. So on the notes, the Gladius mechs are quite well equipped.
Would Razvan think it's worth his time to go and take their stuff?
If you think so, here's the thing: you can get, if you go in and you want to try to take the rest of them out, they would definitely give you some of the components if you kept them alive or kept them functional would be very useful for you guys.
All right, we got a backup plan. If we can't find what we need, we can go in there and raid those.
In fact, I
Okay.
will say this. Cole, add an additional D10 to that gun. Because the thermal cannon that is in the notes says 1d10, but the weapon that is traditionally on a Gladius mech does 2d10. So go ahead and bump up to 2d10.
Wait, the weapon that's on the guys that we were just fighting does 2d10?
Yes, there's 2d10
I'm so glad there's a
damage.
door between us.
Yes. If they use it's called a thermal gladius. If the thermal gladius goes off, it's a 2d10 damage.
Okay, then. I have a very scary cannon. Yay.
Yes.
You know, if we could maybe find the environmental controls, there's enough plasma energy going out throughout that whole section of the ship. We might be able to fry them remotely if we can send like a little bit of Astra through the ventilation system.
Yeah. I will gladly get anything you guys want to do.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Good pay.
Yeah,
Big
still waiting
bucks.
on that.
It's a figure of speech.
Right. You pay us an exposure.
Yeah, that's right. Vacuum exposure if you don't shut your mouth.
Well, technically, my mouth doesn't shut. You know, I understand.
No, it never fucking shuts. He says, like, hits off the communicator. He's like fuming and like sulking over the fact that you guys almost got killed and like he didn't even get the gun. So he's like,
so here's what I will say. When you hack into the Octavia, when you hack into the system the second time with that, you hear kind of like a distress call, right? From one of the specters. Again, another specter kind of comes up and says to you, please help us. Help us. We have no means to fight her. And you can see that it is a green astral projection that comes up on your HUD now.
Can I trace that to like a physical location?
Yeah, you can easily trace that. You can tell that it is deeper down the yellow hallway or the yellow doored hallway. It is deeper into the core of this ship.
Okay, while I'm in there, can I access the environmental controls as suggested by Austin's character?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what do I have to roll to see if we can fry them remotely?
To do so, please roll me please roll me a systems check, because I think systems is appropriate for this, because you're definitely trying to hack the systems.
I rolled a 2, so that's a success.
Oh, that's really good. So yeah, given that this specter is now calling upon you, for some reason, you were able to do so with quite good proficiency. And you are the map of the interworkings and the inner systems kind of pops up on your HUD for a minute. You begin to see all the different rooms that are actually inside of this ship. You have, and I'll go through them real quick.
Okay, I'm going to share this obviously with the team.
With
I'm going
everyone,
to simulcast or whatever the correct term would be.
So you have the engine room, you have the hypersleep or medical bay room, you have obviously the Harbinger labs room that you just exited. You have a place called the testing chambers, and then you have a place called Yeah, you have a place called Merid's Respite, which what you assume would have been like Merid's captain's quarters.
Oh, right. Merid was the captain of the
She
ship
was
originally
captain
before
of
it
the ship, yeah.
disappeared. Right.
Yep.
I know I have notes on this. I just don't
Yep.
know where.
Looking at the map, Razvan would seek the most direct route to the respite,
Okay.
even if that involves cutting through walls,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
as the crow flies, like what the most direct route is, and his intent is to just like mech rip our way through walls until we get there.
That sounds great, man. Can you, if that's the case, you kind of see that there are, obviously there are a number of the different rooms. You know that the way to get to Merid's would be you have to go through, you have to go through the testing chambers to get to Merid's Respite. And the testing chambers is the yellow door.
Was I able to fry the things in the green room?
Yeah. As far as frying, like completely frying the
mechs.
the mechs in the green room.
Yeah.
With that kind of a systems check, when you did the 2, I will give you that, where that systems check was so good that you overpowered that system. Yep.
All right. I'm gonna pop the door then, and there you go, boys. Got you some toys.
Yep. So with that, you all have the ability to scavenge from these Gladius mechs. I will tell you what is on them so that you guys can choose what you want. They are quite proficient in mobility, so if you want to be able to make more than one attack, you can take parts of them off to do more than one attack. There's also the ability for them to take to gain additional damage dies, or you can take either one of their weapons. One of them is a pistol. One of them is basically what's called a thermal gladius, which I'm assuming is either a cannon or a blade.
Sword.
Yep, the blade sword, yep. So you can take either one of those.
So Razvan would think that it would take more time than we have to install like major changes to mechs and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's no reason we can't take that stuff.
Yeah, you could easily harvest
future.
that stuff. Yeah, for the future.
Yeah, I imagine Scrap Heap is partially built with like container sections, like a hollow leg that he like
hollow legs.
Yeah, like opens up a thing and like starts filling up like. But I'll take one of the pistols and strap that into like a little kind of. There's like a little like mechanical arm that kind of opens up these 2 little arms and grabs the gun, so it'll fit just about any gun.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, if the scavenging of these bodies is done, where would you guys like to head?
Well,
whoever took a weapon, just tell me which weapon you prefer to take. So you're taking a pistol, and then is anybody else taking one of the weapons?
I'll pick up a sword and I'll magna lock it to my side in case.
Sweet. Okay, so you have that option, and yeah. Where would you guys like to head now?
Well, this door is open.
Yellow. Yeah.
The door is open. So you guys head through the yellow door. You guys begin to head through the yellow door, and this is where we will look at this. I need all of you, or whoever would like to, please make a systems check at disadvantage. Because as you enter this room, this space, you notice that something has happened to the Astra in this room. It is an absolute cacophony of floating and like floating debris and all sorts of just haphazard mech pieces anything that could go wrong has gone wrong in this room. You can see where scorch marks and like massive battles have happened, but everything seems to be floating in this yellow astral haze.
So it sounds like maybe the gravity's not working in here either.
Yep. So as you guys enter the room, you also notice that your mech feet, even though they are quite heavy, begin to lift up off of the ground a little bit.
Hey, I'm flying. Look. And he's like just kind of like drifting happily like through the air.
Zeke will start. I'm imagining that we would probably have some kind of small like bits and pieces of things. So like I think I'd probably have a couple like little chains that I'd pull out and kind of carabiner on.
You want to do the carabiner like walk, like spacewalk?
Well, I was gonna just like extend it to anyone else like in here, just so that we don't all end up floating apart, like so that we can kind of, and also I could jump jet and tow somebody across the room.
Yeah, I think Onyx Glory would take one of the chains as well with her jump jets and offer to tow somebody. What exits are from this room?
So you are now in the yellow room, which is considered the testing chambers. You clearly know that in this room there are two bays off of there's one in the far back of the room, which keeps going forward, and then there's one off to your right.
And on the map, which one was Merritt's quarters?
So you would assume that Merritt's quarters are probably up near the front of the ship, like where the cockpit, where the engine rooms, all that kind of stuff would typically be. She'll be up near the front of the ship.
Okay, so which door though?
So the front
Which
door,
way's
like
front?
the
straight out, straight
ahead. So you see
Okay,
a door
so we were
that is
coming in the
straight
back.
ahead, and then there's a door on the right side, and yeah, that is where you would be.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Well, if that's the direction we're going, then we can start jump jetting that way and begin
as you begin to kind of enter into this room. You notice that like the mass amounts of debris that are floating around in this space are definitely going to make it more difficult for you to navigate this space. Also with the difference in gravity. So I need everyone to please you guys all made system checks, right? Okay. Everybody passed on the system checks, right?
Not me.
Not you. Okay. So I believe that the three of you, Styx, Onyx, and Scrap Heap, you all see what this creature was. You see like this shadow that is looming through the debris in this field. It is just a massive shadow because this room, top to bottom, is actually way bigger than you expected. And this shape and this form sounds mechanical, but also organic.
Zeke is gonna say over the comms. I highly recommend killing your running lights right now. I'm gonna send the drone out. Try to see if I can get eyes on it, and I'll like from within the like I'm imagining, because the mech is big enough, like he pulls the arc mesh tool out within the mech, like in the kind of pilot's cockpit, like creates this thing, and then has like a little like area that he sets it on, and it kind of like is a little tray that he can like slide it out, and the drone just kind of pops out and he'll send it up, running as dark as possible to try to get eyes on whatever this thing is.
Yeah, so you guys are running dark in here. Okay. It is going to definitely be dark to see where things are. You are covered in a yellow astral haze. But if you guys...
All right, Onyx is going to turn on the long-range scanners that she's got
okay.
and feed that to the rest of the party. Because
that sounds good. Long-range scanners, that gets you something for sure.
It increases the range of my weapons, but I'm assuming that it would also help me see.
I'll say it'll increase your visual range for the party. That'd be great. So as long as they're within the space next to you, we'll say that increases your visual range and would give you you would just roll a straight roll instead of having disadvantage going forward. I will need mobility checks though from you as you begin to cross this room. Especially if you're going to do so silently. Anyone who fails the mobility test, please let me know.
I wanted to start by sending the drone out to see if we could do just a little recon before.
Yeah, you can do that.
Jet into the room.
Yeah, you can do that.
So I'll try to pilot it up towards the sound or towards whatever is on the scanner, trying to keep a little bit of distance. But I want to see if I can get eyes on it and we can see what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Hey, that distress call.
Yeah.
Can I tell where it came? Because you said it came from in here or this direction.
From this direction, you can tell that I will give you this. You can tell that distress call came from the door at the far back of this room. So where you were heading, where you know that Merid's quarters would be, most likely it's going to be that direction.
So for the mobility, I got a 13 out of 18, so that should be a success.
Okay, Austin, what did you get for your drone?
If I'm rolling by Mecha Hack rules, I got a crit failure.
Oof. Okay, so here's what I will say to this. Okay, for the crit failure on this end, I will say you see it, but you see it up close, but it immediately destroys your drone.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So you can tell them, Zeke, you can tell them what it is, because as your drone heads out into the space, you see this, it looks like the size of a whale, but with like the mouth of a just disgusting sandworm with like multiple teeth that seem to just grind. And as it comes around the corner, it literally grinds your drone into dust.
You all just hear a very quiet voice choked out over the intercom, like, "Don't get in front of it." And I'll attempt to jump jet to the just straight to try to go like as fast as possible to the other side of this room. I don't care what's in here, like to scavenge, not 100%. Interested.
So one of the things that you notice though, Zeke, as you're beginning to jump jet, on the ground where the original ground would have been, you see a number of different mecha, people who have been here before you. Huge holes in the sides of these of the hull where things have been, where these, you assume, would be like the tentacles, where just huge holes have been punctured through these mechs. And it's a graveyard in here. So underneath your feet, graveyard of nothing but mech bystanders, of casualties of war as it is. And I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Pretty sure Lorium is explosive.
Cool. Got some ideas. Just
I think we're going through here as quickly as possible, and I think we all succeeded on the mobility.
Yep,
Which
you did.
is
So
good.
you begin to get, I'll say you guys begin to get about halfway through the room, because that's your first mobility test. You'll get through halfway through the room. You'll get one band higher. Please roll me another mobility test, please. The only reason I'm making sure you're successful is because the more successful you are with your mobility checks, the more stealthy you'll be and avoid contact with this giant creature. As long as you guys get successes, it'll be fine. So it sounds like everybody got successes on the mobility. Okay, good. So this second round goes by. You literally watch as the creature like a roller coaster, just going up and down through this astral space. You are just narrowly, somehow, all four of you are finding little pockets of debris, things like that are hiding your figure just enough to keep hidden for now. And you have to roll me one more to get all the way across
What does the side of this creature look like? Does it look metallic or
it
organic?
is it looks metallic. It looks like an entirely metallic, how do I explain it? The back of it looks like the chitness armor on a cockroach, but the shape of it itself looks like that of a whale. Oh no. So everyone was doing so good. So good. Up until you get to the last third of the door. And Zeke, please tell me the thing that you do that causes it to draw its attention to the back of the room.
So he's hurtling through these pieces of debris and being very cautious to like slide them out of the way. And then he realizes that the thing is like fairly close enough that he can actually see its movement. And he gets distracted just long enough that as he's pushing by one, he doesn't notice this floating mech that just clangs into him with this like kind of like off-settling like jingle. And he immediately just like, oh, fuck. And that's all you hear through the comm before he's silent again.
Excellent. So yeah, I will say this, because we're getting close to where I feel like we should take a break. What I'll do is I'll have you guys roll me some mobility tests to get your initiatives, right? I believe we roll mobility to get initiative. Roll initiatives, and then we'll take our break real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll finish out the back half of the game. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of this. This has been super fun so far. I'm very excited to see where you guys go with this. Man, oh man.
Excellent. You ready to go to break?
Yeah, man. I'm good.
Sweet. Let's do it. Sit tight, everybody. We'll be back.
Welcome back, everyone. So, where we left off, our buddy Zeke was trying to make it all the way to the end of the hall of this Astra-ridden compartment and almost did so. The entire party, the rest of the party did. Something hit Zeke and caused him to create this now distraction. And that's when the Leviathan turns its head.
Zeke? Zeke? What did you do? What was that?
I don't suppose any of you speak worm. Be real cool if somebody could talk this guy down right now.
I think we're past talking. Razvan will say, and he'll activate the thermal gladius or whatever it is.
Nice. Yep. So please roll me some mobility checks. I believe we guys already did, right? So we all got successes. So you guys will all go before he gets a chance to see you guys. Who would like to go first? Because I believe that it's not about, or who has, is it based on who has the highest mobility? Who goes first or no? Okay,
No,
just
just
whoever
side
wants to go.
initiative.
Yep.
Yeah.
Floyd, you go ahead.
Okay. We're in zero gravity, right?
You are currently in, zero gravity. So you're able to float, move around however you like.
How far away is it?
From you guys, it is, I would say, in the not close range, not far range, but the near range. In Zeke's range, he would be in close range with Zeke, because Zeke would be the one that would have triggered it. But you guys would be either in the near or far, depending on how far back you are toward the door.
Gotcha. I'm going to not activate the gladius. Instead, I'm going to bring out the chain gun, and I'm going to rip ass and just start shooting.
Oh yeah, lay down some of that sweet
that's
damage there,
right.
brother.
So it's a belt-fed chain gun. So once I hit, I can just use my action to keep hitting it every turn.
Yep, that is perfectly fine.
So I'm going to just begin that. I'm just going to open up and just. I guess it's not hard to hit. It's enormous.
It's enormous, so it's not hard to hit at all.
I wish sometimes that you have a dice cam because I'm so lucky. It's another crit.
Oh my god, do it. Just rip into this thing, please.
So that's one of these and one of these. So that's 9 and 2 is 11 damage.
Okay, that's amazing. So 11 damage as you just completely rip into this thing. I will say that probably on its descent backwards toward Zeke, you can kind of see it coming towards his mech. And as the lights on the front of its eyes kind of come down, you clip it right against the head, kind of having it go, and it will veer off away from. You will actually have it veer off away from Zeke, having him avoid sheer destruction.
So the other thing I'll do is I'll kick away from wherever I am and sort of. I don't know if I can move in 0G, but if we're near a wall or something, I'll.
You
kick
can.
off.
It's just disadvantage on mobility checks.
Okay, so I'll try and move away from Zeke, so it would have to turn to away from him to get at me, and
Gotcha.
hopefully me shooting it will make it come at me and leave little squishy Zeke alone.
Can you roll me a presence check then? So you'll
Certainly.
roll the mobility check at disadvantage and then roll a presence check, because I'll have that presence check just be considered like you trying to draw its attention.
Okay, I succeed on the mobility and I succeed on the presence.
Sweet. Okay, so you do exactly what you want it to do. You lay down that fire, and immediately it draws toward you. The eyes, kind of like these huge yellow halogens in the middle of all this yellow mist lock onto you. And it begins to travel toward you in that direction.
As this thing turns, I want to do something a little crazy because maybe it's the safest thing to do.
Why not? Crazy is good.
I'm gonna aim my my feet exact opposite, like right as this thing turns. I want to jump jet myself, like using the thrusters in the 0G to launch myself onto the like midsection of the worm. Like, I think because like I'm hoping he's not mobile enough, like that if I get like on the back of his head or so like I'm not sure exactly what he's exposed, but I'm thinking if I'm close and if I rush in and I mount the oh god, it's the little maker, then I will perhaps become Muad'Dib and I will win.
Oh no. What happened?
No. We
what
still have
happened?
you.
I thought
Yes?
you were just staring at me and
No.
confusion about
I
that
froze.
is a terrible plan. Like
I froze significantly. So yeah, no, please.
That's what you're gonna do?
Yeah. What did you do?
Okay, so I want to launch the jump jets so that I can try to get like, I don't know what part of this worm is exposed to me, but I want to try to get like latch onto it.
Okay.
Like
yeah,
I want to try try it far away from the mouth, but like far enough that it can't like turn, like close enough that it can't turn and bite me.
Okay, I will say this. Yes, you can do that. You can attempt it at least, right?
Well, yeah. We'll see if it happens.
I will allow you to attempt this. However, I will say that there will be consequences if you do not succeed.
I'm okay with this. I put jump jets on my thing for a reason. So it's a disadvantage mobility check?
Yep. In the anti-gravity, there's going to be disadvantage on mobility checks because you're trying to navigate a large metal mech in essentially a gravity pool.
I rolled a 4 and a 5, so those are both successes.
Okay. Sweet, do it.
Awesome. Yeah. So the jump jets activate. I got to roll my reactor die for that to like push me in that direction. We're good on the reactor, and so as this thing like turns to look at Razvan, Zeke just like punches it on his jump jets, flies up to this thing, and tries to like hook his legs onto whatever, like into whatever vulnerable bits he can, and is going to start trying to like pull his scattergun from his back to line up for like a point blank just scattergun to the back of the head or whatever part of this thing.
That's amazing. Okay, so you've now moved onto the back of this thing. You are gonna have to keep rolling. As long as you're gonna stay on here, you're gonna need to roll me mobility checks to be able to stay on.
Yep.
But you are currently locked onto this thing, and you can take your attack if you'd like.
Okay, I will do that. Is that a
depends? I believe that's a power. Yeah, if you're rolling
for ranged as well, or is ranged mobility?
I don't remember. Let me look.
Can you do ranged when you're firing point blank?
It's power. So
it's by default.
All attacks are
power. Okay, all attacks are power. Okay. That's right.
Yeah, in Mecha Hack, all attacks are power. Yeah.
It's a 2, so that hits.
Fancy. Okay, do it.
My scattergun is a D10. No, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I got 2 different scatterguns.
Yep, you got the Mecha Hack one, and then you got
my damage is a
Harbinger one.
I'm a D6, and then a scattergun
now, if you
is
want,
heavy, so it's plus 2, I think.
Because these are technically Astra weapons, I have allowed for if you want to pump your Astra into the weapon, like what you would normally do your damage on your Harbinger weapon. If you would like to pump your Astra into your weapon when firing it, you can do so. But it's just at the risk of raising your Astra.
Yeah,
fade.
that's worth it. That seems worth it. Okay, it's been a little. I'm not entirely sure. How does that work mechanically? That's like because it's a weird combination of the two. So I'm trying to just figure out like it would be boosting.
So you're boosting your Astra fade, or you're boosting it so that you can apply that to your weapon, right?
Yep.
And then because you're using that, what is your Astra fade going to be at right now?
1. I think that's the first like actual. Yeah, I don't think I've.
Yep.
My jump jets don't incur
Yeah.
Astro
Anytime
Yeah.
anytime you use Astro,
That's right.
though,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
have to roll on the Astro table based on
Exactly.
whatever level you have. Yep.
So that's a D6 on the
D6 on the die. Yep.
table.
And that's it.
Okay.
Right now.
So
Yep.
Yeah, so that's
you
a
go
5.
Okay, so the 5. I'll just look at this real quick.
And then I
So
also
the
will roll
5
my
says-
damage, which I think is going to be a D6 plus 2, and then
So I'll
whatever
have
the
this happen
Astro-
to you after. I'll have this happen. I'll have the effects happen to you after you do the damage. Because
Okay.
it just makes more
And
sense.
so the extra Astro damage, is there a particular way that works?
Nope, you just roll the die that you would normally roll with your Astro.
So like double. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still a little confused about that, I think.
So you're rolling your scattergun damage for the mecha,
Yes.
and then you're going to
Yes.
roll whatever die you would roll for your Harbinger scattergun.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Roll
Okay.
that.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Oh, that's really good then. That was definitely going to be worth it then. That's 3, 5, 15 overall, or no, sorry, 13 overall.
13 damage. Okay, so you take a chunk out of this thing as it begins to wail. But as it lurches from the shot, because you rolled a 5 on the Astro table, you are going to be knocked prone. So you're literally like holding on to this thing as you're holding on to the hole that you have just created in it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is horrific and beautiful.
Let me roll something, and I will just see if you also triggered something else on it. All right. So from that hole, Austin, you begin to hear this chittering coming from inside the hole. And right near the mech's face, as you have your head down in the whale, these what look like smaller whale kind of almost cockroach kind of forms come out of the hole and begin to try to latch on to your mech face. As some spawnlings, you have like at least 4 of them come out and begin to try to scrape and scratch at your face. But that will be on their turn.
Okay. I'm going to
Now
try.
you know that they're there.
Can I hit this thing without hitting Austin's character?
You can, yeah, because he's currently on the back. So as long as you're aiming for the front part, it's a large enough piece that you wouldn't be able to actually hit him.
All right. I want to try and hit it with the cannon, my new toy.
Okay, cool. You go ahead and do that. I'm going to check and make sure I keep track of its current
All right,
HP.
that is a
You
success.
said 13, by the way, Austin, right? 13 damage from that gun? Okay.
That's a success. And I'm also going to do it recklessly, which means I get to roll an additional die and reduce my armor points by 2. And that is 12 points of damage. And let me see if it just fell. Something fell. Oh, well. Let me see if I reload here. And I think I do. Let me find the thing where I wrote down what it reloaded on. It recharges on a 5 or a 6. Is that right? Yeah. Okay,
Charges
good.
on a 5 or a 6.
I rolled a 6. Yay.
Sweet. So it recharges.
And then I am going to engage my static cloud.
Yep. There we go.
Which means I test mobility. Which, is that at disadvantage? I mean, because you don't really use gravity for it, I wouldn't think.
As long as you're not moving and you're using the mobility just to create that, then no.
Yeah.
If you are moving in this space, then yes, it would be a disadvantage.
Okay, I succeed, and I'm as part of the static cloud, I deal 1d4 to 2 close enemies, but I have long range scanners, so that can also be a near enemy. And so I'm going to count the worm thingy as a near enemy. So I get to hit him twice as soon as I find my d4. Oh, no, wait, I have an energy modulator, so it's a d6. Ha.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm stacking modules, guys.
Get
This is
them
fancy.
stacks.
I rolled a fucking 1. Really? Really?
No.
So that is 3 because I make 2 attacks. I roll a 1 and a 2.
Okay.
And then I become hidden and I roll my reactor die, which is what? Reactor die d6. And I roll a 5. Yay. All right, we're good. I'm hidden.
Okay.
And I have done some damage that I can't remember anymore. I think 15 points of damage, I think was what that was.
15 points? Okay.
Yeah, because I did like 12, I
significant.
think, with the gun.
Yep, 12 with the gun. Okay, so
and then
15
3
points of
with
damage.
the static thingy.
You guys are tearing some holes in this thing.
And I'm assuming it's starting to leak nasty cockroaches out the front now.
Yep,
Lovely. And maybe now Austin can see to the other side.
And then, Lloyd, remind me how much damage your weapon did to it earlier. I think 11.
That was 2 whole turns ago. So it
No, you're fine.
600 years ago.
No, you're fine. So I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, I think it was like 9 or 10, something like that.
Yeah. So I got you. So I'm just keeping
9.
track. So we're at, sweet. Okay. You guys definitely have taken some massive chunks out of this thing. It is bucking like a bronco now, though. And every time you take a shot at this thing, once the hull of its skin is pierced, more of these cockroaches begin, like these cybernetic cockroaches begin to pour out from it.
Okay. So I do not have jump jets. So I would have had to have been one of the mechs being hauled across. So I don't know what range band that puts Moby Dick from me.
If you were at, let's say, I said because you guys got all those mobility tests, you would be at the door currently.
Okay, yeah, we were almost out.
To Marid's Respite, yep.
Okay.
So you, in the space of this space, he would be considered near. He's not at the door on the other side. He would still be considered near to you. He would have to come toward you to get to the close range.
Excellent. So without really wanting to move, I'm assuming, if it was Zeke or Scrapheap that was like tethered to me, he probably disconnected the tether, I hope, before he launched himself onto the back of this thing. It's
easily disconnected, but you're at the door. Yeah.
Right. So without being able to really move much under my own accord, I'm just going to kind of like hover or levitate kind of near the door and just stay here. But I am going to activate 2 different things on my mech. Yep. So the, like, what you would call like maybe like pectoral armor or whatever slides out of the way to reveal these 2 large speakers, as well as like a subwoofer that kind of opens like basically where the belly button would be. And I am going to use my beam cannon, which is automated so that I can actually attack with the use action instead of the attack action. And then as my attack action, I'm also going to loose my maw beam at this thing. As this like massive like vibrating noise just like radiates out away from my torso. All right, so first up, use action. Oh, it's still an attack. Okay, so that's still power. Ooh, that was close. So that's a success, 3 out of 18, or 5 out of 18, because it's a heavy weapon for the beam cannon.
Nice.
And I'm just going to go ahead and roll the other one also, the maul beam. That is test power again. Ooh, okay, that's a 12 out of 18, that's still, or a 14 out of 18, that's still a success. Or no.
You hit for both?
No,
okay.
Maul beam is not a heavy. Okay, so from the beam cannon, that is a D8.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 2. 7 plus 2 is 9 points of damage from the beam cannon. And then my maul beam is a D12.
Ooh, okay.
That is going to be 4 points. And then I need to roll my reactor again, which is a D6
So
currently.
13, right? Total of 13.
9 and... Yes.
Yeah, 13. Okay.
Okay, and then I rolled a 4 on my reactor die, so I should be good on that front.
Okay. So let me take a look here. Yeah, this thing is looking massively hurt. But every time you were doing it, it's like a bee's nest, and a bunch of these holes are creating smaller spawns. The spawns may not bother you now, but they will be an annoyance later, as now there is a almost full swarm of these things now pouring out from the holes.
Oh, look, it's leaking children, much like you organics do. It's disgusting.
Oh man, that's a phrase I never thought I'd ever hear. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, that
yeah,
couples well with the
so-
cockroach whale, so thanks for that.
So now we have gone around the horn. This thing is going to try and attack. I want to say, who is the closest in the bandwidth here? Probably.
I mean, I'm pretty close.
You are pretty close. You're on its back though, so it can't clearly see you. You will get attacked by the kaiju. Like you will get attacked by the spawnlings though, and they do. I need you to test mobility to see if you can avoid their little claws. And I'm gonna roll for
Disadvantage still, I assume,
Yep.
even if it wasn't for the low gravity.
Yep.
Oh, hey, mobility. That's a pass.
Oh, good. So yeah, they're swarming around your face, but you're somehow able to like move, like roll with the shifting of the bot, like the whale's
I'm like
body,
holding onto the like hole I've created in the whale with just one clenched fist, and the other one's
Yep.
just kind of like randomly
You're
swatting these things,
swatting these things away. Yeah. So they're not having any luck getting to you, but they're just an annoyance at this point. The Leviathan itself will try and attack Razvan, I believe, is the closest to him at this current moment. So Razvan, you see the whale has now taken its eyes on you, and it goes to try and engulf you with its toothy maw. Please roll me a mobility check to see if you can avoid being swallowed by this thing.
Damn, you're ugly. With disadvantage, right? Because of low gravity.
Disadvantage, yeah.
Still okay. I have a 19 mobility, so my highest was an 18. But
Sweet. Okay, yeah, you're great. So as it goes to try to chomp at you, its whole face, you just move out of the way enough, and the whole front head of it slams into the side of this one wall, making a massive dent and hole in the side of this room as it shakes its head away and kind of like looks for what prey it could possibly attack. And you avoided that. So yeah, the rounds go again.
I'm going to keep shooting it with my big gun.
Yep.
Because I don't have to roll to hit because I have the belt-fed gun. I'll activate my Astra to activate red, what is it called? Augment weapon.
Augment weapon? Sweet, do it.
So that means I do extra damage.
He is definitely looking super hurt. You were on the verge, for sure, of completely ending this thing.
Okay. That's going to be 6 and 7 and 2, which is going to be 15. 15.
Okay. Based on what I had, that was just enough. So, how would you like to do this? How would you like to end this Leviathan without also murdering Zeke?
I guess he's got the chain gun. He's just like, and he's like, if you imagine, because it's firing so quickly, it's almost like a long distance knife, right? That like cuts through whatever. So he's just going to try and sever it down the middle, I guess. Like focus fire on one part until it starts to blow apart, and then keep moving it so that it eventually he's like cutting it in half or whatever. It's long enough, I think, that I can shoot it without hitting Zeke, but yeah.
I'm also imagining that I would like see this thing start to rip through him and like detach, fire the jump jets just to get as much distance as possible, because I know what Razvan's like when his chain gun is on. So
yeah. So the visual that I see is like you enhance it with the Astra, and you begin to just waylay into it. It's angry like a bull, and it begins to barrel down on you. And as it does so, you just chain through it end to end as these red Astra bullets just cut all the way through it. Zeke kind of lets go and hovers backwards, and there's a brief pause of this, watching the two parts of this whale be completely severed. And then a explosion ripples through the room of multicolored Astra. And I need Zeke to roll me a mobility check, and anyone within that near band to roll me a mobility check to make sure that you do not get hit with the Astra wave that comes out of this thing.
isn't disadvantage just a bitch?
Yep.
20.
Oh, good Lord, son. So that will do this. Let me figure this out. 1 second. I know I wrote this down, and I have to figure out how much I'm going to do. So yeah, inside the Astrofade tables, I'm going to go through the Astrofade table and just see what the effect is. So currently you were at what, 2, right? 2 over?
No, not 2 over. I'm 2 under my
You're
limit.
2 under your limit. Okay, you're 2 under your limit.
I barely used any when I was in Harbinger mode, and
so you're 2 under your limit. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go to make it like an Astra effect. Something's going to happen. I'm going to roll on that table and then see what happens to you. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yep, this makes sense for you, honestly. So I rolled on one of the Astrofade tables. It was such a large explosion of Astrofade that I did a tier 3. And Zeke, as the explosion waves over you, this mixture of energy does, and I'll roll this so that I can tell you what you get. Okay, not bad. You get a total of 9 Astra damage as this wave goes over your hull. It was 3d8 damage, but I rolled really low. So yeah, it would have been really bad for you if I had rolled better, but I rolled really low and I got 9. So
yeah, Zeke's real paranoid about Astra and all of the plating that he's put on. He's like developed a special coating that he like, at least he thinks it repels Astra.
Some sort of astrogel. He's like coating his body in astrogel.
He calls it Astroglide, and it's just something he rubs all over. He like shines up his suit with it before every mission. So he's real glad he put it on.
Why did I walk into that? So much. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. So, so the Leviathan is gone, but in the wake of that explosion, you hear the hissing again. And for a minute, you think, oh, well, it's probably some pipes. It's probably something that he exploded. But through the doors that are right in front of you, 4 of these arms come out to look at the carnage that is currently happening. And I need everyone to just make me a mobility check as you all kind of stay still or stay hidden. I need to see if you guys will be hidden enough that these things.
I'm going to not hide and shoot the tentacles.
Oh no! Okay, yes, perfect. Choose to not hide and shoot the tentacles. Yes.
So I'm willing to take whatever damage that incurs or whatever if like they see
me. There's no
I'm,
damage. They just they're coming out to see. So they're going to see you, and then all turn instead of they all turn this. They were blue, but immediately they turn red. And they sound like they're whirring up. But you immediately begin to fire at them in response. Sweet.
Yep. I think he's just been in a fight with a huge monster, and I think his response to hearing more danger noise is not to go, I wonder, it's, like, I think it makes sense. So he's just going to shoot at whatever he thinks the threat is.
Do you need us all to roll initiative again, or are we?
Nope. This is just kind of like this is a surprise round. I would consider this like them coming into the room, seeing what the carnage is, and you guys surprising it with whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'm shooting. I got a 7, which is a hit.
Yep. Sweet. Do it.
I don't know if you want damage or.
No. I'll say this. You don't need to give me damage because I will say you take one of these tentacles off, right? Just one of them completely and is now floating in the space. And it immediately recoils back into the space and the doors shut. But you now have the eye of a tentacle that is now floating in front of you.
It's like the eye of the tiger, only completely different.
Eye of the tentacle doesn't sound nearly as good.
No, not really. I think Octavia is going to use her arc mesh replica skill, because we still have all these little cockroachy things running around, don't we? Or did those all die when the whale blew up? Which is a phrase I never thought I'd say.
There are a few that did avoid the blast, but it's like bees that no longer have a hive. They're not really
okay. Then never mind. I'm not going to do anything with my arc mesh replica. I was all ready to make like a swarm of spiders to go after these things.
You could still do that if you want. But
no, I'm okay without swarming mechanical spiders because it's bad enough we've got cockroaches. We don't need more insectoid nastiness.
Sweet. Yeah. So yeah, you all kind of managed to get back to this door where it is now shut, but you are here and you are all alive. So how's everybody doing as far as health, right? You can check. Yep. Systems test, please.
That is a success.
Okay, so it is locked, but upon you working through the systems, you come across a file on this particular door. It is a series of 3 distress calls.
Okay.
Yep. And then you can access them. You just tell me which one you want to pick first. There's 3 different ones. You say 1, 2, or 3, and then
I'll go with which is the oldest.
The oldest is obviously number 1.
Okay, then I'll go with number 1.
Okay. Hello. Hello? Is anyone out there? This is Captain Meridusa of the We're stranded and abandoned. I'm afraid my crew has unlocked something within.
All right, let's listen to number 2. See if she's gone more insane.
Distress call number 2. It's now been 200 days. No flybys, no response. My crew is getting anxious. We're held up in the engine. Our mechs can only hold out for so much longer. Static.
Number 3.
And then the voice that comes over doesn't quite sound human. There is humanistic qualities to it, but it doesn't sound that way anymore. They were dead weight. I had to let them go. I heard her, and she heard me. We are one, and no one shall steal from she who saved me. Mother knows best, after all.
Okay, then. Did that last one sound like it was the same person, even though the humanity was gone?
It kind of sounded very similar, but there's no humanity left in the voice.
And how many days later was that third one, did it say?
It didn't say. You just
Okay.
know that it's been at least, you don't know how long. One of them was 200 days in, and then you have no idea between the two how long that next one was.
While
Yikes.
while she's scanning this and we're kind of deciding where to go next, would it be okay for me to use a boost kit?
A boost kit?
Mm-hmm. It's a consumable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Go
Cool.
ahead.
I'm gonna do so.
Yeah, I'm going to use my repair nanites while we regroup as well to fix up my mech a little bit while we.
You guys are tearing through my stuff. It's so good, but also I feel so unprepared.
I'm also going to use a boost kit just to, get my 2 armor points back. I liked those 2.
I've taken no damage. I've actually gained an armor point from my Lorium greatsword.
I'm so proud of you, Lloyd. Breaking my system.
So I have Harbingery abilities. I have Vault Breaker that I could use to get us in here.
Yeah.
Even if I can't hack us in.
I will say this. Your systems, you know that this door is shut by means that are more than just the mech. So I will say that. With your systems test, you know that this thing is being shut by something that the mech may not be able to do. So your vault hacker would be a great opportunity to use that. But using that, you would have to roll on the Astra table to make sure that you don't go down you'll have to roll your reactor, and if your reactor goes down, you have to roll on your Astra table.
Do we want to go this way with the messages we've just heard? I mean, that's where the loot is, so. Okay, then I am going to roll on the Astra table if I can figure out which tab I have it in.
You can just roll for me.
Okay.
Has your
I haven't done anything with
You haven't-
Astra yet. So
okay? Just roll me a d6 then.
that is
Just
a
to
1.
Okay. Nothing currently happens. Like you roll and it's perfectly fine.
Okay. And then the door is open and I've increased my Astra fade by 1.
So
Once I can find where I record that.
you power this door open with a burst of Astra from the mech's palm, probably. It overrides whatever entity is holding this door back. It overrides it, and you are able to go into the next room.
Okay, what do we see?
As you all enter into this room, it's surprising because this room seems to be more of a hallway than like an actual captain's quarters. As if there was a long hallway before you reached the captain's space. The floor below you looks to be in like a tilized pattern. And there seems to be a door at the other end that has the imagery of a female figure, a female face.
Do I remember the map that I saw briefly?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
do the dimensions of this hallway match with what I saw on the map?
Yeah, so you know that like Merid's Respite, there is a little bit of space between this. This would be that space. And then going on the other side of this room, whatever this space is, will be her space that she would usually stay in. You can see that like this seems to have been restructured and this hallway seems to have been restructured and reformatted. It looks like over time this has been built here. It probably wasn't initially the way that the ship was made, but this has been built to do what Mother needs to have happen.
I'm going to pull out my fancy cannon and shoot across the room. Is there a door across the room that I'm shooting? There is, right? Like
it looks.
I'm blowing the door open.
You can try. I'm
shooting the mother figure.
The mother figure you're shooting the mother figure in the face. Okay, that's
no,
cool.
Not in the face, torso.
Oh,
much
torso.
more damaging.
Okay. Yeah, much more damaging. That's fine. Yeah.
So that's a power, right?
Power, yep.
That's a success.
Okay.
I imagine we're all standing in like this eerie silence, having just fought this giant whale, all like very quietly looking around, and then all of a sudden, this fucking like, whoa, just like, Jesus.
Yep.
Like, yeah, Zeke's
just
gonna jump back like,
play around.
What the?
And that is I'm doing a reckless attack again, shockingly. And that's 19 points of damage to that door.
Okay. So you damage the door. You certainly damage the figure. There is a hole there in the space. However, you now have to get across this room still. And as you enter this room, it's almost like when the air gets sucked out of an airlock, an immediate pressure pulls you all into the space as if you just unleashed an airlock by shooting that wall, by shooting that hole. All of this suction begins to happen as as the four of you begin to slide into this room. And in the moment as you're floating in the center of this space, you start to see on the top of the mother's head are 4 different colored crystals. There is a black one, a blue one, a yellow, and a red. But currently, you are all sort of floating in this space because now the air or whatever was holding this space, the gravity to this space, has now been sucked back out.
I think Styx is like grabbing a hold of some pipe or something that's kind of run along one of the walls with his feet kind of, being pointed towards this breach that's just been made, and he's kind of just trying to keep himself from being sucked through this hole. And over the comms, he just says, "Would you please be careful? Do you have any idea how long a Forgeborn would drift out in space before somebody finally finds me?"
Would this ship be would we think that would it be likely that the ship would have any sort of like emergency breach force field that we could try to activate? Like,
you can certainly try. On the walls, you see pretty much that there are panels on the walls that you could probably hack, break into and see if you can get to the wiring and stuff. You could easily try to do that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start like holding on to anything I can to like crawl myself over to those panels.
Yeah.
Holding on
That's
as tight
fine.
as possible.
Yep. You still feel that suction as it just, for some reason, feels like it keeps going, because because of that kind of force was not expected.
So Octavia's going to let herself get pulled towards it, but then
Okay.
use the jump jets to sort of miss the hole and aim
Miss the
for the
hole
head.
and aim for the head. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Awesome.
What do I need to roll?
Just mobility as you, and I'll probably say mobility at disadvantage, because you're trying to keep your jump jets together.
That's a success.
Okay, you're fine. Let's see.
And yeah, she's gonna land near the head and pull out something daggerish. I think I have some sort of melee weapon that's a D4 type thing, and try and break the red crystal.
Try to break the red crystal. Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming, okay, the black one, is it an actual black crystal, or is it one that was a different color that has burnt out?
That you don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm still going to try and break the red one just because.
Okay.
Is that power?
That is a power, yep.
And that is a success. That's a 6.
You break this red one. You do break it because it's a shard. But in doing so,
I've just made it worse.
Yep. I mean, sometimes you shouldn't play with things that.
No, that means you need to break all of them.
Yep.
Clearly, yes. Break all 4 of them.
Break all 4 of them. Why not? That's fine. Yeah. So you hear over your HUDs, you hear chrono burn commencing in 3, 2, 1. And immediately, because you hit this rock, the heat in this room begins to immediately ramp up to the point where it becomes like a furnace. And inside of your mechs, you begin to sweat. And as long as you stay in this room, the effects of chrono burn will start affecting your mech suits.
Okay, I'm going to let go whatever I'm holding and float out into space.
Okay. Let go and just let
I have a better
yourself
chance
float.
of surviving if I'm in space than I do with my mech falling apart. So I'm going to
Okay.
let go and think I'll figure it out when I get out there.
Yeah. So you begin to float surprisingly faster than you expected, like a large stone in a rushing river. You begin to float toward that hole, and then you kind of just give me a mobility check, Lloyd, just to see if you can hold on and not get sucked all the way through the hole.
Disadvantage, right? Because no gravity, or
Yeah, disadvantage because no gravity.
okay, still success.
Sweet. So I will say
So maybe
this
at the last second he takes his sword and like on the door or something, he like bang, so he like spins it a little bit so he can hang on the outside or something.
Yeah. So like you just plunge it in and like hold on to the outside, like it's a. Thank you, Austin. You're welcome. This is great. I'm reading the chat now. Thanks, buddy. But yeah, so currently, for those of you who are in this space, I'm going to say that the effects of Chronoburn are happening. And if I remember correctly, for Chronoburn, yep, it is, a single weapon or
Lowers
suit
the
of armor.
condition, right?
It lowers the condition. And you take 1d6 energy damage for as long as you're in that space. So, because it's a spell like that, I'm going to say it's probably going to be 2d6 because of how strong this is. So, yep, good. So you guys are going to take 8 points of Chronoburn damage, and immediately because this is Mecha Hack, I'm going to say that your it says you can downgrade an item, so I'm going to say that your reactors will probably either that or some sort of a weapon will go down. You can choose. I'll have you guys choose if you want to do your weapon or your armor, but it's going to go down 1 grade.
So, weapon or armor?
Weapon or your armor. So if your armor would go down.
What about reactor die?
You know what? I would say that would be your reactor die. Yeah, your reactor die or your weapon damage.
So I have a Virillion battery, and so like feeling this Astra start to like overheat the thing, I'll discharge the into the Virillion battery to just auto downgrade that instead of my.
That's fine. Yep.
Also, the same for me. Apparently, we took the same extra things.
We outfitted ourselves fairly similarly.
Yeah. So you both do that. You both do so. The heat in this room is getting atrocious, though. Physically, you are getting to the point where it's getting claustrophobic to be in your mech.
Seeing Razvan let go and head out to space, it really takes only a second of processing to realize that that's what he's doing before Zeke will let go as well. Like, he's gonna stick together with the guy that has been able to murder the shit out of everything that has come across us so far.
Or that he has not died, and he's like over 40, I guess, and is a mech pilot, you know? Like, that's the real skill.
Somehow old and bold, so clearly very good.
What is the saying? Beware of an old man in a young man's profession.
Exactly.
Yeah. Styx is also going to let go to stick with the fire team. No pun intended. And he chose to vent the reactor core just a little bit because of the overheating on all of the I just lost the term, panels and meters and things. So he is going to downgrade from a D8 to a D6.
Okay, sweet. So because you downgraded your reactor, can you roll on the Astra table for me?
Yes. I am currently still at 2 of 4.
So you're totally fine. You can still roll on the D6 table.
A 2.
A 2. Okay, so your 2 gets you to, hold on, just had it here, Astrofade. Your Astrofade limit. Oh, Astrofade FX tables. Here we go. Astra stretches your wounds and mends your broken bones. So if you have any problems, you regain 1d4 hit points. So even though it's hot, Jeremy, like if you have any damage that you've taken,
just to my armor.
Just to your armor. Okay, then you're fine. But so nothing happens. You just feel invigorated by this heat for some reason.
Oh, Forgeborn, so makes sense.
You probably have some like superficial scratches, like start to like kind of melt away. Like super hot metal just kind of fuses. Ah, nice and clean.
Yeah,
oh, I like no.
So as you guys are being flushed through this hole now, currently Octavia, you are the only one who has not let go, and you are all going to be kind of pushed through this space. This is where I guess we'll see what happens next, but you guys are going to go ahead and go through that hole, and that space is going to drop into an immediate plunge. So where there should be space there's nothing, and it's a hole underneath. You're going to go straight down.
Who? Was outside or?
So it's not outside, even though the flush happened. This is not space. This is literally just you get flushed out, and now this space here drops you down into the lower part of the ship. So now you are in like the lower area where once there would have been probably her living quarters and her living space. This is completely changed. Now you see what once was a living space is completely decimated, and there is a hole here where that once was. All of it below, when you reach the bottom of this hole, her living space is completely trashed, completely decimated. There might be some fragments of what her original life was, but you're now in darkness in this bottom of this pit. So cool. Yep.
Then Zeke will go ahead and pull out from his pack inside the cockpit a glow rod and crack it, and then send that out through the little drone slot. Try to get some light.
Yeah. So
if I'm
you can
still
do so.
Up top,
You're still
I'm gonna
there.
try and destroy the other crystals while I'm here.
Yep.
Before I go through.
That's
and if I
perfectly
can do
fine.
it in one swing, even better. Like I have a beam
I will
weapon.
allow it. I will allow it.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to keep in mind, everyone you destroy may do something different to the ship.
Yep. And that's a success.
Okay. You destroy each one of them, but in doing so, one, the gravity in this room shifts when you destroy the yellow. So immediately you feel this tug of you dropping down to the floor. And then you destroy the blue. And if I remember correctly, the blue is that healing? Blue is healing, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So you destroy the blue, and upon destroying the blue, you hear from below you this horrific roar. It doesn't sound human. It sounds augmented, but there is definitely this cacophony of sound and hissing that comes from the floor below you. And yeah,
What happens
once
when
you
I destroy the
destroy
black one?
when you destroy the black one, that's interesting. You feel something. You feel a immense, like almost like an implosion where the gravity of the room sucks inward and then immediately explodes out. You feel that in the entirety of the ship. Like a whole wave of that energy has just exploded through the bottom portion of this ship. So the rest of you, as you're going down this black hole, feel that vibration that singes through the entire ship.
When you say black hole, do you mean like an actual black hole or
No,
just a really dark
like
hole?
their tunnel.
Just checking. And is it still crazy hot in here?
It might be later. You never know. But it is still warm. Yeah, because you destroyed the red crystal, so it is still crazy hot in here. You are sweating. Your armor is gradually burning as
All right, I'm going through the
staying in
hole
here.
as soon as
Yep.
I finish destroying the crystals.
Yep. I'm gonna roll something.
I'm not gonna leave it unfinished.
I'm gonna roll. Okay. I will say you take 6 points of damage to your armor because you stayed in there for a significant amount of time.
Okay.
So you'll take 6 points of armor damage.
Question about the 8 points of damage we took earlier. Is that damage to the person or damage to the mech?
Damage to the mech. As long as you're in your mech, it's going to be damage to your mech. And then when, obviously when your armor points run out, then it'll be damage to you. Yeah. So I think that now you guys are all in this blackened space. You can hear the frustration and the mass hissing of steam coming from down this hallway.
She always has to touch everything. Everything. I don't understand it. All of you, you're walking bags of fluid and breakable parts that break down and leak, and you want to touch everything and stick your hands in things and brush things, and I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either, Styx.
Now there's hissing.
I heard her.
I may be a party to it, but that doesn't mean I understand it. I just do what I got to do. It's not really a choice.
My goal was to hurt her. I've hurt her.
What is this now? And he kind of like gestures towards the hissing noise that seems to be in this space with them.
As you kind of get more clarity with Zeke's glow rod, little drone glow rod kind of wheeling forward like Wally, I can just imagine this little tiny glow rod guiding a ball of light into this room. You see what can only be described as an amalgamation of some form of baromech, but it's a baromech that many of you will have never seen before. It has multiple limbs. The tendrils coming off of its back, kind of clinging to the walls as you enter this space, which would have probably been the major freighter hold. She has now made essentially this nest in this lower chamber, and it looks to you. You can kind of see that this figure this baromech is looking down, and what it looks like there's a figure of a female form inside the chamber, but around them in this chamber you can see 3 other specters that are encased in the green aura. These specters that you have all come across previously, the red, the yellow, the green. And this blue aura is coming off of this baromech. Why? Why do you wish to take my children from me?
They don't seem to be big fans of your parenting style.
They came for me. I merely offered. You are intruders. And then as it says so, it like shifts its whole body weight, its whole mass up against the wall, up against the side of the wall. And it looks like this massive spider-like entity with how many tendrils are coming off of it. You dare hunt mother.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. We just came here to get some shit, but you guys started getting real hostile as soon as we showed up. So
Yeah,
you kind of made this a confrontation.
You can hear the cacophony of different voices in the back. Help, 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 help. She's... And you can see that it's having trouble with trying to keep the voices of the other specters in the room from its perspective, its own psyche. It's like it's creating its own psychosis.
Razvan will like pull back the one of the chambers on his chain gun, and like a bullet the size of a car will like clunk on the ground.
Perfect.
And he'll look at it and say, perhaps once there was a part of you that was protective and affectionate, and whatever has happened to you here over the years or centuries that you have been here has turned you into something else entirely. And he'll turn to this and say, this is not my first rogue AI. And then he'll like again and like point the gun in its direction.
Hell yeah. Okay. Please, everyone, roll me mobility so that we can set off this initiative.
I imagine this happens a lot. Like a specter goes crazy or whatever.
Spectre goes crazy.
It's the old crazy specter again.
The old crazy specter. Yep. All right. So everyone except for Styx will go first. So, yep. Who would like to go first? I imagine it will probably be Lloyd, but considering you've...
I've been racking the gun, he'll move forward and enter into garrison mode. So he'll activate like the defensive version of his mech. Pistons will like fire down into the ground and like hold him in place, and like armor plates will pop up around him. And then
That's
he'll...
so cool.
I gotta roll my reactor for that, which is a D8.
And real quick, as he's prepping, Zeke will play like just a little like wire comes out of his hand and jets into the chain gun, and I'll roll my reactor die, but give you a boost, a 1d6 damage boost.
Ooh, dang, nice. My reactor is okay, and as the chain gun like powers up and is empowered by Zeke's Astra, I will take a shot at this thing. We'll see how it goes. Do I have any minuses or anything? Is it like a powerful enemy or?
It is a powerful enemy.
I think sometimes in Mecha Hack you get like minuses. Sorry,
you do,
pluses.
yeah. So I'm just taking a look at what kind of
Sure.
enemy stuff they have because I wrote down a bunch of things. So they have, yep. No, there's no minuses to it based on what I wrote here. However,
Sometimes when they're like a certain hit die or whatever.
yeah, that's what I'm looking
has
right now.
This thing on
If
top.
they're a hit die, yeah.
I want to say, I think if it's more than 2 different than your level or something like that.
If it's more than 2 hit dice higher than our level, so if it's hit dice 12 or more, I don't know if that can be, right? But if that's the case, then it would be harder for us to shoot it and avoid it and stuff.
Yeah. So this is the highest that most of these enemies can get to you is a hit die 10, so you should be fine.
Okay. So then
even the most like prolific kaijus are mostly hit die 10.
Okay, sure. All right, so then I'll fire my gun and see how it goes. It's a 14, which is good. So I will do my. So did you say an extra D6, Austin? Yeah.
Yeah. And as you fire, the kickback from the Astra just knocks me flat on my ass. I had to roll on the Astra table because I went down a reactor die.
Oh, you went prone,
and I got knocked prone again.
Sweet.
I'm gonna also activate my Astra, so that will put me over my limit, Chad. Oh no, I'm level 10, so it won't. That's my Astra fade limit.
Yep. Where you at?
No, I am good, but I will be using Astra, so I don't know if you'll roll on.
So you'll just roll on the D6 Astra table.
Okay, this is a lot of damage. 12, 15, 17 damage.
17 damage. Oh wow.
From
okay.
the chain
sweet.
gun.
That's a sweet.
And then I roll a D6 on the Astra table. I rolled a 6, which I think is bad, huh?
Yeah, so you're gonna take 1d8, and let me roll that real quick. You're gonna take 5 points of damage from the just for some reason.
There's a huge Astra backwash because Zeke is like charging my gun and I'm also charging it, and there's just like this.
Yep, your core just overheats a little bit, and just backwash.
Okay, that is it for me.
Okay. So who's next?
There's an extra D4 damage. I'm so sorry because I entered garrison mode. Do I have a D4? No, I don't. Can someone roll me a D4 if you have one handy?
4.
2. Okay, there you go. Okay. Well, we'll call it a 2 because Chad rolled it. Okay. So an extra 2 damage.
Okay, so we were at 19 and then an additional 2.
Yeah, 21.
21 damage all up. Okay. All right, cool.
Austin, did you go already? Was that your turn helping Lloyd?
That was a use action, and I'll just use my movement to stand back up.
Oh, okay.
That's about all. That's cool. I could potentially fire a shot, but it doesn't seem like it would be that useful. I'm trying to do other more useful things.
All right. Well, on my turn, I think Octavia will make an arc mesh replica of a brown bear and shove that somehow out of her mech. I don't know how that works. I'm not going to question it. Or maybe make it outside the mech. I don't know how the two.
So here's what I'll say. Treat it like a hologram. So you're pushing it out of your mech, right? And so it's going to apparate in a space that you want it to apparate in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's going to apparate outside. It's a brown bear. And that's my action. And it and then I tell it to sever the connections between the mother and the specters.
Okay.
And that's a free action. And then it goes on my turn as well.
Okay. So I can try to take out one of the. You can see that there's like this webbing, which is all made out of the wires and everything that latch to the actual yellow engine core, which is where you guys are heading through, and all of them are attached, but then it seems to be siphoning energy from each one of these. That's why the eyes could change different colors.
Okay, so it's somehow I want to disconnect it from what it's siphoning from.
Yep.
So
You can choose one of the colors and then tell me which one you're attacking. So red, yellow, or green.
Let's go with red.
Okay, you're going to try to.
That's always
attack
done
the
well
red
for
one.
me.
Yep.
It totally burned us out last time.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So the brown bear has multi-attack, and it is going to. How do I do this?
Okay.
Because I know how to do it if we're in Harbinger. I roll and it's against the AC of whatever I'm attacking. But
okay, so here's how we're gonna say this. It has its hit die armor class thing, right? I know how much it's taking. So as long as you manage to hit, right, you'll roll whatever damage you would roll in Harbinger, and I'll.
How do we know if I've hit though?
Because
it just rolled a 19.
Yeah, you just roll. Yeah, just roll your power.
It attacks roll my power or roll the bear's power.
What is the bear's strength as a stat?
A 19 plus 4.
And that sounds like a pretty direct correlation.
Yeah, it wouldn't translate to Mecha Hack that way, but I think that's
fair. I think that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
You would hit then, yeah, and then just roll the damage.
Okay.
Yep.
So I rolled a 10 plus 4 is 14 piercing, and then it attacks. That's with its bite, and then it attacks with its claws.
Okay.
And yeah, I've rolled under, so I'm assuming that that's a success. I don't know how we're doing this exactly,
nope, that'd be fine. Yep.
And that is 2d6 plus 4, and that is, I can do math. 16 slashing damage because I rolled two sixes.
So that's a total of 30 damage to one of these tendrils.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I move.
Okay, so you take these tendrils are not, they're very, very thick, but they're not hard to get through. So you cut off one of these tendrils, and you hear this cacophonous wail that sounds like white static noise. As soon as you do it, not like inside your HUDs, everything goes. Just it is a banshee screech like no other. As you tear one of these tendrils away, there are a couple of them on each one, but you start seeing the green orb that is around the red specter begin to flicker out. So it's not quite done because you have a couple other connections, but you did take out one of the connections.
Okay, and I need to roll on the Astra table because I used Astra.
Yes.
And I rolled a 6. What does that
get? You're gonna take 1d8. I'm gonna roll that 1d8 real quick. You take 3 damage.
Okay, and that's the person, not the mech, that takes that.
That's gonna. Yep, you're gonna take. That's the person, not the mech. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my lights on because apparently I'm super dark now. I'm in like the darkness, and then I will. We'll continue.
Everybody else is gone, right?
Chad said, "Let there be light."
I went. So I think it's you.
Okay. Well, I can't yet because I failed my initiative.
Yeah.
So she'll get to go.
Yeah.
And then...
So she'll go now. Yeah. So clearly, your action has made this creature absolutely just incensed. And I'm gonna roll real quick. Okay, that did not work. So I it begins to kind of get closer to you. And then I am going to roll for, let's see, it's going to get closer to all of you, and it's going to go for Resven, because Resven is the one that attacked it first, and that is going to be, I need you to roll a mobility check to avoid.
Yes.
Success. Okay. So it begins to kind of come down with these massive tendrils and misses you with the tendrils. It's going to go ahead and try to, for the lack of better terms, because it's a baromech, it doesn't have like a maw on it, but it does have, you can see that on the top of the baromech there are these scanners. Again, that large red eye that was there before, and it's going to try and attack you with one of its other attacks here. Has a second attack, so I'm going to use that. And that will,
mobility, or?
Yeah, so I just need you to do a mobility to see if you avoid it. That's all.
I do not.
Okay, so you are going to take, not great, but I'll do it. You take 9 points of damage as this figure kind of wraps 2 other tendrils around you and squeezes into your mech. You're not moving because you got the pistons that jammed down in it, but you feel this almost boa constrictor like squeeze along your mech as the tendrils crunch in on your creature.
She done?
Yeah, she only had 2 attacks. She's going to and then kind of move a little bit more to be in the space where all of you are, so she can kind of have an eye on all of you.
So she's close?
She's going to be close to you now, yeah. She's close to you.
I feel close to her too. All right. So if that's the case, then I am once again going to power my great axe with more magenta colored red Astra. As it starts to glow, I pull it out once again, this kind of guitar type device. But instead, so what kind of an action is doing the tech boost? It's an action in Harbinger, but in Mecha Hack, how does that translate?
I would say in Mecha Hack, it'd be like trying to boost your reactor die. You know, like when you do a reactor, when you're trying to do
so
something
like a
with
use
your
action, maybe.
It'd be like a use action, and
okay.
That's how I would interpret it.
Perfect. All right. So now that this great axe is active with this magenta Astra, he starts to again kind of strum out this bass riff, this, but as he does so, he pulls this lever on the bottom of this guitar axe, and that riff continues to play, and at the same time the outside edge of this axe starts to spin around rapid because I'm activating the chain blade portion of my great axe. And then I'm going to leap forward and attack this monster. Okay. Testing power, that is a 10 out of 18.
Okay.
I guess technically
works.
a 12 because it's a heavy action, but it should still be a success. Okay, cool. So, damage die is a d8. Chain blade is another d8 +2 from it being a heavy weapon, and a +1 from the tech boost. So that is going to be, 5 + 3 is 8 points. And I have to roll my reactor die for the chain blade. That's a 3, so it should be good. All right, and that was a use action and an attack, so I'm good.
Yep, sweet. How much damage you do?
It was
On the chain blade?
8
8?
total.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. Alrighty. So, back to the top of the round. Whoever would like to go.
I'm gonna keep shooting. It'll be quick because I don't have to roll to hit. So
Yep.
I'll
I
just
was
keep doing
gonna. Can I hop in first real quick
Yeah,
just
for
to
sure.
again give you? I'm gonna give you that D6 again. So I'm gonna hit my. You can do two use actions, but you have to roll your reactor die, right?
Yes, yeah. If I
Okay,
remember correctly,
so-
you can do 2 use actions, but you have to roll that reactor die.
Perfect. Then I will do that. I'm gonna use the boost kit to restore some armor and get my reactor die back up to a D8. And then I'm going to use a use action for the reinforce to give him a D6 to his damage. And now I will roll my reactor die to see if it goes right back down. It does not.
Oh, good.
So that worked out. And then I guess I will also fire a shot, although I can kind of like, I'll just fire a shot from the pistol that I picked up.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's going to be a success on this power.
Nice.
So I think that's just going to be a D6, right? That's my damage. Yeah. So 2 points of damage. Just a little pot shot after juicing his weapon.
Okay. So you take another little pop shot at this creature. It is clearly leave now. You do not know what you are trying to do. I am saving them, not you.
We'll see. And
Yep, just
keep
laying
shooting.
in. Yep.
So I have a D6 from Austin and a D6 from me using Astra, and I have a D8 for my weapon, and I have a D4 for garrison mode.
Good Lord. Okay.
I know. I'm level 10, man.
Listen, I get it, man. I get it. This is what I wanted. I wanted like mass amounts of damage die, so we're good.
Optimize the shit out of this. Okay, can I attack twice if I roll my reactor die? Or no?
Yeah,
Just use it
I
if
will
I can.
allow that if you want. Yeah.
I'll use my reactor die because
I will
have
say
my
if you fail
core
on your reactor die.
Well, I have core override, so
Okay.
when a close mecha needs to roll on their reactor die, I can roll
You
for
want to
them.
do it? Okay.
And I'll do that. I just got my D8 back, so
Okay.
I will say that if you do that, Austin, if you fail it, because it's going, you're basically overclocking and then overclocking again, I'm going to have you roll on a higher level Astra table.
go for it, because I just
Okay.
failed.
Okay, cool.
Oh, God. Okay. So I got 17 damage on the first, and then I'll go again. Man, it's so nice to roll a big handful of dice.
That was what I was hoping for this game, so I'm very happy that that's happening.
16, 18 for the second, so 17 and 18, which I think is going to be 35 damage.
Good Lord. You're making this enemy into Swiss cheese right now. But I mean, it does have a shield, it does have some armor. So I think right now what you're seeing is as you're laying into it, it's the damage is happening. But you see these little green blips on its shell. So even though the damage is going through, it's clearly absorbing some of that damage as the green Astra is helping take some of that damage away. And then
what
Austin,
tier of what
let's
tier would you like me to
see
roll on?
what did we get to? I'm just looking for that right now.
I still am like I've been under my limit the whole time, so
Yeah, so but because you're
it's
pushing
a big
so
one. Yeah, it's a
hard,
big one.
I'm gonna say that we're gonna jump up to the you did you did 2 boosts, right?
Uh,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
2 boosts.
I did it. Yeah, because I did 2 use actions, and then I rolled my reactor for his.
Roll me a d10, please,
Okay,
because you're going up to the 3rd tier on this.
that is a 4.
Okay, so you receive. Oh God. So take 1d8 of psychic damage, and then please tell me in this moment as you see this creature in front of you, something flashes up on your hood that reminds you of a horrific past. Please describe to me what that does, as you are pretty much stunned in the moment. You're not stunned mechanically, but you take 1d8 of psychic damage. So I'll roll that and see what you get. You're going to take 4 psychic damage, and then just describe to me what kind of thing you see. They kind of halt you in place for a moment.
Is that to the Harbinger character or the mech character?
That is to you. That is physically to you because it's psychic damage.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so he gets this flash play out, and it's this vivid memory that plays out, and it seems like just in the span of seconds he feels like he's just lived a week of like the worst week of his life, as he's remembering being when he had his own ship and he had his own crew, and something went wrong on one of the jobs, and he was essentially they what's the word, mutiny. They mutinied, and he only barely, because of a number of backup systems that he had, was able to vent all the oxygen in the rest of the ship from the place he was being held, and he killed the rest of his crew and had to deal with that. And it was he never took a leadership position after that, but it basically just stops him dead in his tracks as he's remembering like their cold, dead faces of these people he had personally recruited that had betrayed him.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so
I think I'm the only one to go before the evil, whatever she is, mother. So I think the bear goes after me, so I go first. I am going to. I'm going to attack. Is attacking different than a use action? It is, right? Okay. Then I'm going to attack her with my palm beam, and it has the quick adjective for it, and so I can do 2 attacks. So that's power. Rolled a 2, rolled an 8. Yay. So that is 4 points with my palm beam. And then I'm going to use my static cloud functionality and deal 1d4 damage to 2 close enemies before becoming hidden, and then roll my reactor die. Okay. Hang on. So that is 3 points of more of damage, and then I'm going to hide and roll my reactor die, which is a success. Oh no, my reactor die is the d6. Hang on. It's still a success. It's a 3. So yay. Do I have to roll on the Astra table too for that?
Yes, just roll me a d6 though, because I don't think you're over your astrofade yet, are you?
No, I'm not.
No, okay, yeah. So just roll me a d6. Unless you're pushing, then you get to roll higher levels.
So I rolled another 3.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the 3 does. It makes Chad have dinner.
Sorry. So your armor class goes down by 1.
Oh, my armor points, you mean?
Your armor points go down by 1.
Okay, so I am now at 0 of 3. Okay.
Yep.
I then the bear goes, and it's going to. Did we completely detach the one specter?
You completely detached 1 limb from that specter. There are 3 on each one.
Okay, so it's going to go after the other 2 limbs that are attached to the red one.
Okay.
So how are we doing this again? I don't really understand.
So essentially, you're going to roll. You're going to roll your. Here's how I'll say it. You're going to roll your power, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to roll your power. If you succeed, then use whatever damage die you would use for your Harbinger equivalent and then roll that.
Okay.
So you're just trying to use your power to do it. And then if you succeed, you'll use the Harbinger equivalent of damage.
Got it. Okay, so it succeeded, and then it's a d8 plus 6 here. That is 10 points piercing damage. And then that was with the bite, and then the claws are 8 points of slashing damage. So 18 altogether.
This time,
that bear really rocks.
This time, the bear doesn't get all the way through this cord, but you definitely took a giant chunk out of it because these are large cords that are powering these things.
So then she's got like half as much power to her attacks, I'm assuming?
Yep. So you'll notice that any of the, as you're attacking, the attacks, or that the room starts to like spark with this energy, and that you are definitely making an impact because she is getting more and more irritated with every strike you take.
Nice. And I'm hidden.
Okay, so this time you're all kind of gathered in a close range, and she does this sweeping look of her head across all of you. And eventually it stops on one of you, but I need all of you, please, to make me mobility checks.
Even though I'm hidden?
No, you were fine. You're hidden. The rest of you who are visible, please make me mobility checks. Okay, you all succeed, and you kind of move out of the way as you hear the familiar whirring. The red particle beam cannon that you had seen earlier completely cut through the mechs of these other parties, streaks down this hallway and collides with the back end of this ship. You all avoid being able to get hit, and now she has to renegotiate. So she moves upside down. She begins to like move up the wall and upside down and like looking like a turret around at you, and seeing where she can attack from. She's going to use a secondary attack to use one of the tendrils to try and again since you're the one that seems to be laying in so much damage on her, Resvin, she's going to try and wrap you up again. I'm going to need you to roll mobility to see if you would avoid the tendrils that are coming down for you. Sweet. So you avoid them again, and she is absolutely irritated because how does this thing that isn't even like is stationary, isn't moving, how is this thing avoiding these tendrils in such a way that you're like swatting them away and keeping them away? And you hear again that scream of the white noise scream go across as she is absolutely enraged at the fact that you are avoiding the chance of doing this. And then, for your question, Jeremy, she would be considered close range even if she's upside down in this space. Yeah, she's still near you guys, but her head is now down.
Okay.
Upside down on
you. Okay, so would you say that a part of her is near range?
Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah, part of her is still like attached to other things, so you could easily attack near range items, her other tendrils that are connecting to other parts of the wall and stuff if you wanted to. Yeah,
excellent, perfect. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is with the guitar axe still wailing away, is going to swing at the part of her that's dangling down again, as an attack action. That is a 5 heavy weapon, 6, 7, but back down, so 6. So that is a success to hit. So that is a D8 plus another D8 for the chain blade. Oh my god, this sword sucks. 3, 4, 5, 6 points again. And I have to roll my reactor die again. Let's see. Oh, that's a 1. So that's now down to a D4.
Oof, okay. So you're rolling on the Astra table. You're down to a D4 now?
Yep.
Yep. So if you're down to a D4, you will be rolling on the same Astra table as Austin did. Can you roll me a D10, please?
Ooh, all right. That is a 1.
1. Nothing happens to you. You are okay. If you have any astrofade, your current astrofade will reduce down to 1 by 1.
It goes down by 1?
Currently, it goes down by 1. So you're actually you're able to channel in this moment.
Recover a little.
You're able to channel the energy back into your astrocore and hold steady, and you reduce that fade by 1.
So as I'm kind of wailing on this thing and the side of this guitar axe is like grinding into Mother, he pulls it back out, flips it back around, pulls that lever off, and starts to blast away on the strings of this guitar again. And as he does so, his back opens and all of these pyrotechnics shoot out of his back. I have a consumable that is a one-shot mod of Missile Barrage. So I'm going to be making another attack action. This is also power. A 12 out of 18, so that's another success.
Yeah, do it.
So
do it.
That is 4d4. It says to divide it between near and far, but she's the only one, so she's gonna get all of it. 5, 7, 8. Okay, 8 points. And I have to roll my reactor die again, which is a D4 now. And I rolled a 1. Excellent. So, I overheat, which actually... Oh, you want me to roll the Astra first?
Yeah, so now that you've overheated, and so you roll now that you've overheated on this, you're gonna start rolling on the Astra Tier 4 table, which is a
Okay.
D12.
D12. All right.
So you're overheated right now.
Well,
roll me a D12.
Yes, but there's more to it than that. But
Okay.
so on the Astra Fade roll, I got a D8 or a D8. I got an 8.
Ooh, okay. So, Jeremy, one of your weapons that you have on your mech currently, you watch as the Astra that is inside your mech surges through one of your arms and melts away that weapon. It becomes broken.
Oh no!
It
Okay,
gains the
it's got to
broken
be the
condition.
axe.
Yeah.
It's got to be the axe.
So the axe. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, he just played this axe too damn hard, and it just like there's this horrifying like screeching noise as it just completely dies. As far as overheating, I am a hybrid mech, so
Ooh, okay.
I have monstrous. If I overheat, instead, I have to roll on a separate table. So I'm going to roll that now.
Are you about to become a kaiju on me right now?
I rolled an 8. So on a 7 to an 8, I attack the nearest target.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I go berserk.
Friendly fire. Friendly fire. Do it.
Okay, who is closest to me?
What's the nearest target?
They're all in close range. You can pick and choose. You guys are in a tunnel essentially outside of being in this hole. You guys could,
This motherfucker
is it Mother within range too?
Which friend of mine I have.
Mother is also within range. Roll me a D4.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Roll me a D4. You could choose, or you can roll me a D4. A 3?
Uh-huh.
You know what? Because of the way this is, I will say that you don't attack any of your friends. That you do attack Mother, because she is the largest target of all the mechs. So that is the first visual that you see.
Okay. Well, my axe is shot. I fired the missiles that I have, so it's going to have to be my automated beam cannon, I think.
Okay, sweet.
All right, let's...
You guys are definitely doing some significant damage to her, by the way.
That is
just giving you guys a heads up.
Which is a success, so that's a D8. Plus 2. 3 points.
3 points. Okay. Yep. So yeah, she has taken some significant hits from all of this, and she is going to definitely be more protective of all of the. She's like rotating whenever she moves. She's rotating to each one of these specters, trying to keep them safe. In fact, she's going to rotate over to the red specter, considering that it is the one that is being targeted the most right now.
Are we back up to the top?
I believe so, because we're back up to the top. But so yeah, whoever wants to go.
I have another kind of crazy idea.
Sure, do it.
Okay, I'd like to make another arc mesh drone inside my cockpit and pull out the 3 backup Lorium vials that I brought with me to recharge my weapons. And I want to jerry-rig these to the drone, and try my end goal is to fly it up and activate its automatic explosion. And hopefully the Lorium vials will help, increase the size of the explosion. Is my goal.
Sweet.
So I got to roll my reactor. I'm gonna roll my beryllium battery. Risk the damage. Yep. Okay. The beryllium battery is destroyed, and I take a D6 of damage. Hey, I rolled a 1. Cool. That's lucky. I'll take that from my armor. Okay, so yeah, I've got a drone out with the Lorium vials, and I kind of want to try to go for like the head of this thing. Like I'm not going for tendrils. I want to go for the main.
Sweet.
main
You want to go for the face and the body? Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
and then as soon as it's within range, I will like right up on it. Actually, it would be cool if I could like try to get like as much in the thing's mouth as I can or close to it. But
yeah.
And then that is, oh God, I gotta switch PDFs. I believe it's supposed to be a number of D6s equal to my proficiency bonus for the Mecha Hack version. Or I'm sorry, the Harbinger version.
It'd be 7.
7, yeah.
What? Okay.
Oh wait, no, that's not right. It would be 4.
It's like
No.
4. We're 10. Yeah. Okay. Proficiency, 4. Would that translate to Mecha Hack, or how do you want to do that, Chad?
So the way that I've been doing it so far is that you roll your power for attack, right, to do the attack. And if you make the attack, then you do the damage that comes from Harbinger. So whatever damage die is on the Harbinger table for you there, you would do the damage die that comes from the Harbinger table.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So
okay.
Yes. So then with this explosion, if it hits, it should be, it says, number of D6 of damage equal to half your proficiency bonus rounded down. And then on a successful save, it takes half as much damage.
Yep.
So it's supposed to take damage either way. Hopefully. But then do the Lorium vials help at all? Like, do those add any increased damage or anything?
How many Lorium vials are you using, sir?
I put 3 on. That's what I had
3.
outfitted myself with.
How much damage does a 1 Lorium vial usually do?
I believe a Lorium. Let's see. Let me double check on the thing. But
if it's like 1d6, maybe, I don't know.
I think that it's like Astra. Like it's
right. It is just Astra. I'm trying to think of what that would equivalent to though for you.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. You know what? Lorium is not what I was thinking of. A different thing. I was thinking of my pulsar cartridges. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
You've got them. This is actually the Lorium vials are just like basically flash drives.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Let me just strap three hard drives onto this.
Don't worry. I'm gonna strap 3 hard drives on here. It'll be fine.
I do 4d6 points of USB damage.
So okay. So it's my 2 backup pulsar cartridges.
I'm gonna frag
hoping
this hard
that those
drive.
hopefully those will maybe do something. We'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
Throw some old AOL discs at it.
Ooh, I got a 3 on my power roll, and I got a 12, so that's a success. Okay. So that's 4d6, and then whatever the pulsar cartridges you decide.
4d6, and then I'll say that you can add an additional. You know what? Add an additional 2d6 for the 3, because the pulsar cartridges I think are 1d6 per. So I'll have you do 2d6 additional damage for them firing off.
Okay, so that's 19 overall. I rolled a lot of ones.
19 overall. Okay. So let me add this up, guys, because we may be really close to you guys beating this. Let me just get my calculator here to find out, because I've got all the notes written down and I'm keeping track of everything, but it's hard to kind of like look at it in the space of okay, clear. So 30. Oof. Going down the line. You said 19 damage. Okay. Yep. It's still standing, but as you explode this, from the top of the roof that she's kind of held herself up on, it explodes downward. So the whole carapace kind of just crashes down to the ground. So she has to, I'll say that for right now, she is prone, and she's going to have to redirect herself, because it completely threw her as far as the direction of the room. Are these Astra cores, by the way? Are these like Astra affected?
No, these are just arc mesh drones and
Arc mesh
pulsar
drones. Okay.
cartridges.
Okay. The pulsar cartridges don't have Astra.
No,
in
I think
them, right?
the Astra's in the weapon itself, and you can.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, she's still standing, but barely.
You all just hear mad cackling through the Whisper Link.
Yeah, you can tell that like she was thrown with that as this cacophonous bomb goes off. Your risk was well worth the reward, as now the tendrils that are holding these specters in place begin to like flicker in the just shake of the room. I will say that the one on the right, the red one, completely gets eviscerated. So now it is free. The red specter is free of its space. The yellow and the green are still holding together, but it is a gross outcome right now.
Is the red specter doing anything then?
So the red
specter, it's free?
Yeah, so the red specter comes out, and I think it would align itself and probably look to you, Octavia, since you have been the one that has been in contact with them the most.
Thank you. Quick. You must hurry. I will hold them off. But you do not deserve to die.
You will hold who off?
Yeah. So you start seeing that the specter turns from you and turns toward the Baramech and begins to fire these little red lasers from her spectral eye, as kind of like how the kaiju spawnlings were in the other room. It's just an annoyance to it, but it's trying its best to do as much damage to the creature as possible. So it's going to help you going forward.
I thought it was telling me that there was some other enemy that we were going to have to worry
Nope.
about.
Nope.
Like, oh no.
No, you're good.
All right, Lloyd, do you want to go or do you want me to go? Okay. I am going to fire my cannon-y thing. Let me find where I wrote it here. Okay. So that is a power roll. And that's a success. And it is 2d10s, yeah? That is 15 points of damage from my magical cannon of cannonness. And then I'm going to hide again because that's kind of my instinctive thing. So I'm going to test mobility. And that's a success. And do 2 attacks to the mother, which is 7 points of damage. Finally managed to roll something other than ones.
Okay.
And then become hidden. And I roll my reactor die here. And that's a success. And then it's the bear's turn. And so the red one's completely detached. So it's going to start on the green one, I think. And that is not a success. That is an 18, and that is over my power. All right, so the bear is going to trip over something on its way over to the green one and it's just arc mesh. What do you want? I didn't say I was good at making animals. Yeah, so that's it, I guess, for my turn.
Sweet.
Wait. It makes 2 attacks, so I get to roll twice, don't
You get to roll twice. Yeah.
I?
I was gonna
I know
mention
there's
that,
something
but yeah,
else.
you're good.
All right, and that's a 7, so that's gonna succeed.
That's gonna succeed, and then you just roll your damage.
Yeah, let me get a second d6 here and find the brown bear stats. Okay, so this is his claws, and nice, I rolled 2 6s again. So that is 16 points of, 18 points of slashing damage because he uses my
Sweet.
proficiency, not the brown bears.
So so the bear slashes through one of these tendrils on the green, and the green kind of flickers a little bit, then stays solid. And again, you hear that cacophonous roar from the baromech. She is in agony, though, as all of these things are happening. She's currently down on the ground trying to renegotiate herself. And you have the opportunity to attack. I'll give you an opportunity to attack.
I'm gonna begin firing chain gun. Continue firing it at
Continue
the mass
firing
as
it.
she falls to the ground, and just like non-stop. I guess she's like on the ground. He just like
trying to just wail into it
all over the place.
Yeah.
So I don't have to roll to attack because it's a belt-fed weapon.
because it's belt fed.
So it's not going to run minimum on any of my dice, which is very difficult. So I did 16 damage and then 19 damage, and my reactor did go down 1.
Okay, so here's what we'll say. Your reactor did go down, so I need you to roll me a 1d6. This is the first time your
Second time.
reactor's gone down, right?
Second time.
Second time. Okay, roll
So
me a
D8?
d8 then. Yeah, roll me a d8.
An 8.
Oof. Okay. It says here, Astra surges through your nerves at unparalleled speeds and potencies. Take 2d8 energy damage. So I imagine that as you are doing so, oh God, I rolled really high. Okay. You take 6. That's going to be 11 damage. You're going to take 11 damage as the Astra that you're pumping through this gun, it just starts to heat everything inside, and you're going to take 2d8 that hold on. Yeah, that whole 11 damage there. And then, Austin, did you go? You went first, right? You went first with the bomb, right? Yep. So I think then that's going to be her turn to go. She's going to try... Once she rights herself and she gets up, she is going to try and wrap these tendrils around you again. Please roll me a mobility check, Lloyd, to see if, because you're currently the one that's doing the most damage to her. So she's going to focus down on you.
I succeed.
Okay, you move out of the way. Nothing happens. She's going to try again, but this time for Zeke. Zeke, please roll me a mobility check. What'd you get?
Man, if we were playing 5th edition, I would be critting all over the place tonight. You guys would, I would be unstoppable. This is my third nat 20 of the evening.
Okay, so because it was a nat 20, you take... Man, this is going to be rough. So I rolled max damage on that. So that is going to be 16 points of crushing damage. And then since it was a critical fail, I'll say that for a moment, you won't be able to move. You're constricted in these tendrils. So your next move, you won't be able to move for a minute.
You see like the armor shielding just fall off of Scrap Heap as he collapses back, and you just hear like in the whisper like, ow.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, Jeremy, that'd be you. Sticks, what does Sticks want to do?
Okay, so Styx, just
You can see
recovering
that
from. Go ahead.
You can see that she is like in desperation hunter mode. Like clearly the amount of damage that you guys all brought to the table was not something that she was prepared for. So she is like trying to suffocate whoever is attacking her at the moment.
So kind of regaining his composure a little bit, kind of taking back over as Sonic Boombox had kind of taken possession, if you will, and acted of his own accord. Styx kind of shakes his head, realizes that he lost himself in the moment, and is going to kind of like reroute some things inside the cockpit here, plugging things into different spots. Realizing that his great axe is gone, and instead is just going to start piping like his recorded music out of those same, again, those pectoral speakers, as I am going to activate the automated beam cannon, and then going to attempt the maul beam attack again. So, beam cannon is attacking with a use action, and that is 4 plus 2 is a 6, so that's a success. Damage die is a d8 plus 2. Oh my god, you keep rolling ones. That's a 3 total damage from that.
Okay.
And then maul beam attacking, testing power again. It's a 15. No, that's just a normal 13, which is a success. So a d12. A single enemy up to far. Okay, 6 points from the maul beam. And I have to roll my reactor die again, which is still a d4.
Yep.
I rolled a 1, so back to overheated, or berserker mode, rather.
Yep.
Okay, so another d8. Yeah, that's right, Astra first.
Roll on, how many times has this been that you've overheated now?
The second time that I've overheated, but I rolled a d12 last time.
Yeah, you rolled on the d12 table. So here's what I'm going to do. Because this is almost the end, I'm going to have you roll on the d20 table.
I like it.
Because
tasty.
Now you are really overclocking this. You're trying really hard to not do it, but your reactor is losing the ability to do this anymore. So what did you get?
You're like saturated in Astra.
Yep. I'm freaking out. Yeah, 4.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. Because it's based in Harbinger, but we're playing in Mecha Hack as well. I think what happens is you start to feel, and it's very, very bad for you. Not only do you go into berserker mode, but that tingle in the back of your head that feels that warm, hot energy, you begin to feel that course through your entire armor. So Styx, your mech's armor begins to corrode.
Ooh, okay.
And I don't know how that will, it just says that I can drop it down 2 damage conditions for like equipment but let's just say that I'll say this, whatever armor points you had, right? The amount of armor points you have begin to melt away. So whatever shield you have, right, any damage that comes to you going forward will go directly to you.
Okay, cool. Because so my armor points are just gone. Your armor
points are gone. They've just melted away.
Okay, cool. In addition to that, my berserk also leads me to damage myself. So I take 3 points of damage. So yeah, as I am, as I attack with these weapons again at the creature, parts of sonic boombox are just like falling off, and he is just like tearing and pulling at all of these hoses and pistons and things, just as he's just almost more bestial than his typical self.
Okay. Back to the top of the round. You can see that she is going to go for an attack. Resvin, or whoever it is, whoever wants to start first, she can tell that she is ready and willing to go for the next attack. It just depends on who she wants to look for. Right now, she has Zeke in a completely crunched shape.
I'm going to go, I'm going to stop the chain gun. I'm going to take out the thermal gladius that I took off the gladius mech earlier.
Yeah.
Activate it, and I'm going to go in and hack it up. So
Nice.
let's see if we can do something here. It's a 3, so that will hit. So it's 2d10 plus, no more d4 because I'm not in barricade mode, but I still have my Astra. So I'll have to activate that so I do my reactor. 3, so that's good. And that is going to be 8 and 8 and 3. It's 19 plus 2, so 21 damage.
Okay. So I was waiting for somebody to hit some hefty damage. As you do this, you sever all the tendrils that are holding Zeke in place. Just completely cut through all of them. The choking goes away. She is spurting sparks and flames and all of these things, and it begins to back away.
No. I was supposed to protect them. They were my children. You can't take them from me.
He just like continues going.
Yep. And she's backing away. And yeah, I think there's only one thing that she would do afterwards, but it is up to you guys. I will let you figure out how you want to end her, Lloyd, because you did get enough damage to actually get the killing blow, but I'll give you that narration to get that killing blow.
Yeah, it's like not exciting or like poetic, or it's just like ruthless efficiency. He just like grabs whatever he can of the mech and just like takes the thermal gladius and like plunges it in and just like continues doing that until it stops moving. Like
yeah, she keeps going on her diatribe because that's the only thing she knows, until at some point you go straight through the
voice box,
the upper voice box, and just she'll go completely limp. At that point, the tendrils that were attached to the other spheroids, the green shielding over all of them goes away, and they all kind of float and look to you.
Thank you. We couldn't escape without you. You've done us a great service.
And it is up to you how you would like to end this, but I will give each of you an opportunity to describe how you want to leave the ship, because as you have killed her, this ship begins to make an announcement. Captain has been destroyed. Self-destruct sequence initiated.
You go.
Oh no, you.
Can I try and hack in and stop that?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I have
Okay.
no problem with that.
What do you guys think? Should I try that?
Yeah, I was considering demanding the spheroids that we just saved help us stop it.
Yeah, no. That's perfectly fine too. You could ask that, and they will. You see them kind of hover up and immediately go out. The green one stays with you and will immediately form a green protective barrier around the bubble of the four of you. The
As a
red, yeah, the red and the yellow go up to where the captain's quarters would be to uh, man the bridge and stop the. Yep.
What would I roll to see if I can hack it?
Systems, just systems.
Okay, well, that's a success then.
Okay. Yeah, you get in there, and then so now I will say you are in there with the yellow spheroid, kind of working together simultaneously to shut this down. And then the red one is just beginning to destroy all evidence of this even happening, just kind of chrono burning everything that was this experience.
Don't destroy the things we can salvage, please. That's why we're here.
Duly noted.
Yeah, hold the self-destruct for 3 hours.
All right, I have it set to 3 hours from now.
all right, let's get to work. This is the
Let's
fun
move.
part. Come on, Sticks.
Yeah, I think Styx is like still kind of recovering. Like his reactor is like all but melted. His axe is melted. He's like gone in and out of like this berserk state of mind where his mech was basically trying to like take over control. So he's kind of yeah. We should get to work. Yeah.
We should start back at the testing lab because I think you might need a new reactor, and I saw a really shiny one on one of those dudes in the frames.
Here, take
be
a
great.
battery so you can at least get there.
We're gonna take those mechs, right? Those Gladius mechs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think Scrap
Should-
Heap's due for a couple upgrades.
Can we pull the boat around or the ship around? And
Yeah,
just load it? The boat?
yeah. All I need from one of you is an astrogation one to have it
You could call the
navigate.
Spectre or something and
Yeah, have one of the specters
autopilot.
call it in. Yep. You can call the specter from the ship. Yep, if you want to.
Yeah, I'll start also talking with the Spectres and seeing what their plan is after, and if they want to come with us and join our crew for a little while, at least,
Yeah.
because we could use
That'd
some
be cool.
sentient AIs on our ship, and if they're self-destructing anyway.
Yeah. So after you guys have all kind of gotten all these things together, the specters kind of come back together to meet you, kind of escorting you out of the ship proper. And someone just roll me a presence check to see if the specters would leave with you.
I rolled a 3. They're coming
Okay.
with.
Okay. So yeah, they look at you. It has been a long time. We did not expect someone to be able to do this. We appreciate everything you've done. We will come.
Perfect. I think you look like you would be great to integrate with a mech system. And he just starts like rubbing his hands together, getting excited about like, no, I'm upgrading I'm putting this AI.
Upgrading my AIs, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, so each one of you can give me a short epilogue, and then I think we're done. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of this. Thank you guys for being wonderful players and doing all this. I love you guys so much. Jeremy, thank you for hosting, because this is great, man. This has been so much fun.
Razvan, his share or whatever, he'll sell it to the others if they continue to do the job, do jobs or whatever, but he wants out. So he'll sell whatever extremely powerful weapons and everything else that he's managed to acquire over this. He'll basically get Gorgon 6 upgraded to the point where it's in pretty good shape, and then he'll like sell everything else that he owns. He'll sell them the ship, and he'll go to some backwater moon and like buy himself like a plot of land and build himself a little farm, retire there, kick up his feet, but still have Gorgon 6 in one of the barns just in case things go wrong. But he is out of the game for sure.
Yeah, I think Octavia will also not be doing any more runs like this. She's gonna integrate her Spectre into her various hacking tools, one of the Spectres into her hacking tools, and sort of take control of the financial systems back in Chrome City and maybe have some fun.
Zeke would use part of his share to buy the ship off of Razvan and he'd integrate one of the Spectres with the ship and the other with his mech, and he's going to try to assemble a crew again. Anyone that's willing, even though he swore he never would. But this went really well for him, and he got hurt, but not too bad. So like maybe things can turn around.
Yeah, and I think Styx, I think we see him back in Chrome City, down in the bowels of the city again. As a necro technician, that's where he spends a lot of his time, is picking through the refuse that everybody else discards and finding what he can repurpose and give life to again. And he's tinkering with something. He's at a workbench, but it's not this large project that he's working on. It's something small and intimate, and he's kind of like hunched over messing with it, and we see this small device that looks like a reactor core. And when he finally turns this final Allen wrench screw, there's this kind of noise, and it gives off this blue Astra. And as that happens, he looks up and his eyes have now turned blue, and he says, "I must find my children."
That's so rad, Jeremy. Thank you so much, man. That's so good. Guys, I had so much fun. This was a great little run. I definitely think I would change a couple things after running this way, but thank you guys so much for playing in this and experiencing this with me. I'm very glad, and I love how this worked out.
Thanks, Chad.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you so much, Chad. Thank you, everybody, for playing. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, whether you watched live with us or whether you watch at some point in the future. But until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.